The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
So October's over, we're into November. How do we start decorating retail stores now that Halloween is over? Well, I mean, the next holiday would be Thanksgiving.
You will make every retail store in America look like Christmas!
Halloween is over, which means, America, it's time to start your Christmas shopping. It's the first of the month.
November 1st.
I guess time flies when you're having fun.
Get ready, it's about to start.
Turn it up. It's showtime.
Music has been taken out of this portion of the Half-Ass Morning Show podcast for licensing reasons.
Here we go. Here we effing go. This is some pretty interesting sounding industrial rock.
It's a new single from former Motley Crue guitarist Mick Mars. He's got an album coming out early next year.
No kidding.
Yeah. You know who's in the band? One of his main co-writers is Paul Taylor, the keyboardist from Winger. I guess he was a big part of writing this album.
You could have given me 5,000 guesses as to who the hell this was. There's no way I would have said Mick Mars. Obviously, he's not doing any singing on this sumbitch. It's just him on the guitar?
Yeah, he's playing guitar. Yeah, maybe he's singing background or something, but...
How's he doing?
He seems to be, certainly a little bit of a chip on his shoulder about how he feels he was treated in the long time in Motley Crue.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that. I was just talking physically.
Oh, I saw him do an interview. He looked good.
He
looked like Mick Mars.
Maybe
good.
Yeah, he's no friggin' kid.
No.
He was a good 7-8 years older than the other fellas in Motley Crue. I can't remember the physical condition that had him so limited for a number of years when I saw him in concert. I mean, the poor guy looked like he could barely cross the stage. I can't recall what the condition was. I think it was some kind of a bone disease or something.
He's looked feeble for a long time.
If he's still...
But like I said, he doesn't look changed.
Good for him. Good for him.
They made him look so old in the Motley Crue documentary movie that they made, too.
Motley Crue documentary movie. Oh,
you mean The Dirt?
Yeah, there we go.
There was a movie?
The Dirt.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Remember, like, the opening scene with Tommy Lee?
Yeah. Oh, God, that seems like that was forever ago.
It does.
Right, I remember that now. Okay.
They're doing with The Dirt. The same people that made The Dirt are going to make a movie about Dokken.
No way.
Yeah, Don Dokken just said in a recent podcast interview that they're going to do kind of the same treatment. And he said the problem was he was having trouble coming up with more debauchery than Motley Crue. He's trying to be on that level, and he said it wasn't quite the same.
Are they going to call it Rockin' with Dokken?
They got to have something
Probably
like
call
that.
it Breaking the Chains. Is anybody really going to watch a documentary about Dokken?
I think I will. It's the guy from the people from The Dirt, so they'll make it entertaining.
You know what I mean? I mean, of course, you and I and a handful of guys I went to high school are going to watch a documentary about Dokken. And let's be honest.
Right, the average person, right.
They never grabbed the attention of the music world the way, say, Motley Crue did.
They never had that superstardom.
No.
Certainly Tommy Lee, became outside of Motley Crue a huge star.
Not that Motley Crue were a superior band. Motley Crue, more or less, was a bunch of lucky douchebags. But anyway, that's interesting. And I also read that there's a Kiss movie coming out. What else did I? There was something else hard rock related about. Everyone wants to make a story of their lives now, I imagine, before they check out. All right.
A biopic?
Sure, I think that's the term they go with. That's really interesting. Like I said, you could have given me 5,000 guesses as to who was playing that tune there, Cubby. All right. Here we are. Welcome to our radio show. 5:43. We hope everybody had a terrific Halloween and happy holidays from the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Right.
Yay.
Cannot wait to get home and put my Christmas decorations up today.
You're going today?
Doing already?
Yes, sir. I'm
Just
doing it.
take it easy.
I always wait for the day after Thanksgiving.
Take
That's
it easy.
usually when I get my tree, my Christmas tree. Believe me, the tree does not go up.
Yeah,
So
you're not a
still-
monster.
So you still have some measure of reason and what other words might fall into play here?
Yeah, I try to, but
I
I
did get
mean,
my Christmas lights up on the house simply to try and it's so much better than when it's freezing out.
Oh, sure.
yeah,
Ice on the
that
roof.
is
That's
smart.
smart,
yeah.
When I walked out yesterday and I saw the snow in the morning, that's the first thing I thought of is, darn it, I was just about to put the lights up. Now I have to deal with the snow and the ice.
It's a terrible thing. Let me tell you about my Halloween real quick. 3 or 4 trick-or-treaters came to the door. I didn't answer.
Did you guys put like a bucket out or anything?
There's a bucket out there, I think.
Said kick rocks, kids. Nothing in it.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of a couple of Halloween movies, and what I mean by that is the Halloween movie series
Oh, nice.
was running on a couple of different cable channels last night. In case you didn't know, just to save you for next year, in case you didn't know, Halloween 2 from 1981 totally sucks eggs.
Did you watch the most recent two?
I don't remember.
I liked them, but I didn't like the end of not the last one, but the one before that.
The final, not the final?
Yes.
Yes,
correct.
I can't remember which one I got to and which one I didn't.
Yeah, the house was basically a trap.
The house was a trap.
Oh, a trap house.
I had a couple of beers. I watched a little bit of the ball game, and here I sit, by God. I hope everything went well with everyone's Halloween. Josh, my godson, made it home safe from his first Halloween on his own.
He did. They had a blast.
Oh, that's awesome.
We were placing bets on how long they'd last. I didn't think that they'd last very long, but they were out there for a couple hours. I mean, they stayed out until it was no longer appropriate to trick or treat.
Really nice.
Nice.
Did
Yeah,
they have
over
them.
2 hours.
Did they have to come home, drop candy off, go back out?
No, what they did was they attached a little wagon, basically, to the back of a motorized little tiny motorcycle.
Whoa!
Drove that around, and they dump it into that thing.
Holy crap.
They didn't even have
They've
They
had
had a
this planned
system
out-
and everything.
Oh, yeah, they planned this out. They had a whole route planned. They planned this out a couple months ago.
They
That's
didn't
adorable.
have to get any exercise. They're just on hoverboards or something.
Well, the guys that he trick-or-treated with, they recently moved here from Belgium, and the kids were saying, they didn't do that really there.
Sure.
So they haven't trick-or-treated in about 6 years, so they're pretty excited.
Moved here from Belgium.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard that said out loud before. That sounds so original. What do you have any idea what brought a family here from Belgium?
Well, they're from here, and the dad had been transferred out there through work.
I'll be.
So they lived there for several years.
Oh, wow. So there you go. That was it for me. And I got to be honest with you, I'm glad it's over. I'm glad Halloween's over.
Why is that?
I just got a little burned out on scary movie talk and things like that. Haunted house talk. I don't know. I apologize to those who love that stuff, but I just get burned out on it after a while.
I mean, do you want to talk about what dentists are saying about it, or are you all over? You don't want to talk about it anymore?
What dentists are saying about what, our candy intake?
About candy and stuff like that.
Oh, if you got something, lay it on me.
Well, the gist is they recommend eating it all at once. Get it all
Yeah.
over with.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Take November, eat all the candy. It's better for your teeth.
Yeah, I had a dentist. He said that if you're going to drink pop from a can, he's like, at least use a straw so it just shoots right down your throat. Doesn't touch your teeth at all.
Heard that before as well. Yeah.
I'll be damned. Is that right?
It's not good for wrinkles, though, Wobble.
Yeah, true.
Are you serious?
Botox.
Oh, like
no,
just
the sucking motion of a straw. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not good for your wrinkles are on your mouth.
Oh, Jesus.
get some Botox.
Same with like smoking cigarettes. Yep, not good.
I'm going to be so wrinkly.
Whatever. Who cares?
Well, you
right?
why, you go through a lot of cigarettes?
Oh, yes.
Well, how many cigarettes a day?
10? It's a half pack.
Oh, that's jack squat.
I know, but it could be a lot
Yeah,
less.
step your game up, Waffle. Come on.
Could you smoke more cigarettes,
You want to
please?
know what? I need a smoke break. See
Yeah.
you guys later.
Go light one up right now.
I thought you called yourself a smoker. I'm sorry.
It's embarrassing.
So there you go. All right, so now it's the holiday season. I don't know.
Well, like we were saying yesterday, I mean, shoot, if you've gone into any of the stores, it's been the holiday season for a couple weeks at this point.
Yeah.
Stupid. Moving on from Halloween, let's get back to a conversation about filth. I was really fascinated by an article here about underground sex clubs. Huh? Who wants to swing by one of these joints with me?
I'd check it out.
Anybody else?
Sounds like an STD waiting to happen.
You know, if Ashley's not willing to go, but I am.
I'm just kind of burned out on it, you know?
Yeah, totally. I'm with Josh.
How many can you go to?
Is there anybody else who's interested in going to an underground sex club? Please.
I wouldn't know what to do.
I'll live vicariously through you whores.
I would just walk in the door and be like, what is this?
I didn't even know.
What are they doing?
I didn't even know these places still existed. I really didn't. I thought that kind of went out with the 70s or something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not something that I, study terribly often. Maybe that's why I assumed they were gone. It just, you don't read a lot of articles like this. Underground sex clubs. Apparently, there's one in New York City. Okay. If there's going to be an underground sex club and you ask me to pick a city where it might be located, New York City would be one of my picks.
Yeah, Los Angeles, probably on that list.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we're talking like places in America, maybe Miami.
Yeah, I was going to say Miami's probably got some Vegas. Got something going on,
Las
too.
Vegas, Miami, sure.
Vegas, they're not so underground.
No, yeah, I think they're just kind of on the forefront in Vegas.
They've been established
They've
operations.
made HBO shows about them.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. This grabbed me, but I'm kind of a pervert at heart, so things like this draw me in. An anonymous porn star turned bartender talked on a podcast about what goes on at this underground sex club in New York City. And here's some of the things that she talked about. The real truth of an underground sex club. Number one, she feels bad for the dudes that show up without a lady. They often strike out completely.
I would assume you have to bring something to share.
Yeah.
Like a potluck.
But you can also, Josh, understand the draw of, just you going to one of these places on your own.
Absolutely.
I remember knowing some swingers way back in the day. These folks were interesting. A little frightening. And I'm not trying to say that all swingers are frightening. I'm saying this particular couple that I used to drink with once a week, they specifically were just a little odd. And they would often ask me, would you ever be interested in coming to one of our swinger parties? And I was interested. I was. And they said, well, you got to bring a lady. You got to bring someone. You can't show up alone. That was a rule that they had in their club. And, I knew some women at the time who probably would have been interested, but, this happened and that happened, and I never made it. I never made it to one of the parties, and I got to say, I friggin' regret it. And even there came a time at one point or another, I got to know these people well enough to where they said, hey, look, we have vouched for you with the rest of the club, and if you want to show up by yourself, you can go ahead and do so. Here's where we're going to be this Saturday. And I never pulled the friggin' trigger, Cubby.
Kind of surprised you never did.
I know. I'm surprised I never did as well. Hey, here's the thing. Had it been a different couple, maybe I would have gone, because again, they just seemed a little squirrely and a little odd to me, where I didn't completely trust them.
You were afraid maybe you'd wake up in a bathtub full of ice with your kidneys and penis gone?
There was that. I mean, had it been like a couple like you and your wife, Josh, I probably would have been there an hour early. We would have been annoyed by me.
You're tailgating the parking lot waiting to get in.
Yeah, I got burgers going and a couple of beers. There was something about this couple.
That makes a difference on who's inviting you. Because, I mean, you might be expected to hang out with them. And also, who knows, if you think they're odd, maybe other people at this club think they're a little odd, too.
Right, and now I'm their buddy.
You're the odd third wheel.
Right. They were very open about sharing pictures of their parties with me. I don't know if they broke the code of the swingers club or anything.
I would think you couldn't do that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they loved to send me pictures, and it was, I mean, more than anything, it was friggin' hilarious. The pictures were so funny because they looked like your folks naked. You know what I mean?
Do you think the dude might have wanted to bang you a little bit?
Good question. I don't know. Look at me. How could you not want, right?
If he's a human being.
Especially the younger version of me. I didn't get that vibe that the dude wanted to take me to Pound Town.
Did he want you to watch you take your wife to Pound Town?
Did he want me to...
Did he want you to watch his lady, get pounded by you?
Oh, hell yeah, they're swingers. That's what they do.
So, but I mean, like you specifically was like, I really want to see Nick take her down.
I don't know, but I'm sure
Must have been.
He wouldn't mind. I mean, I saw the pictures of what went on over there. There were a lot of pictures of his wife getting banged, and he wasn't in the picture.
That's kind of cool.
I'll put it that way.
That's kind of cool that they were talking about you at the party already.
I thought that was cool too, Wapple.
Yeah, so there's this guy that we know. Maybe he wants to join in.
I thought that was pretty cool too, Wapple. So there you go.
You know how to party.
I'm trying to get into the cuckold movement a little bit. I asked my wife for that for Christmas.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was so, again, that would have been, I would love that for you, Josh. I would love that for you.
Just me in a darkened corner. Yes, give it to her. Give it to her like I can.
So creepy.
What do they call him? A bull?
I've heard the term bull.
Is that it? Like the bull is the one that gets your wife in front of you?
I've heard the term before. I can't say specifically that.
I just heard it too and I forget.
Yeah. I think you're close. But again, back to the pictures that these folks would send me and show me. What was so hilarious about it to me, again, I already mentioned, these weren't, this wasn't a hot young couple. This wasn't, what's the comic with the large penis?
Russell Brand.
Oh, Pete Davidson?
This wasn't Pete Davidson and Lindsay Lohan. This was an older, they were in their probably early 40s. So everyone in the pit, and so was everyone else in this swinging group. So everyone else was built like your parents. And Oh yeah. That's. I think that's fairly common in the swinging community. It's not the hip young people. The funny part was this is what grabbed me. The dudes would stand around in a circle, just kind of drinking beer, ass naked. But all of them still had their baseball caps on. That just was an odd look
They're
to me.
balding and a little embarrassed of being bald.
That could have been it, but
that doesn't surprise me.
I am completely naked, except I've still got my little Twins cap on over here. Go Twins!
They've got hat hair.
Are they in Baltimore this weekend, boys? Let's turn it on the radio while I go down on your third wife.
Some of the things that were on this list, I would think would get you kicked out of a underground sex club. So, but maybe there are no rules. It seems like there's, like if you did some of these things, you'd be gone.
Dude, you couldn't have said it any better, Cubby. So here's the deal. Let me get through this now. The secrets of the underground sex club. And again, this was all mentioned by a former porn star who now bartends at an underground sex club in New York City. She bartends topless. She says it's pretty common for a dude just to walk over and masturbate while she's serving drinks.
See, that's the one I would think I'm going to be murdered.
Yeah.
You can't just masturbate at a bartender. It's one of these things.
They'll just watch her. Yeah. They'll just stand there and watch her stir up a Captain Coke while tugging on it.
Wow, that is so degrading. I don't know if I could do that.
Doesn't it seem like a waste?
Yeah.
If you're going to go to one of those places, I could masturbate anywhere.
That's true.
Whatever you want, I'll masturbate. But someplace like that, I mean, you want to hook up with some random horn dog.
I think, Josh, that maybe they're just warming themselves up.
They're not.
That's
They're
just
not
my
finishing the job.
Masturbation for me is like a tub of Pringles. Once I start, I can't stop.
Fair enough. I would hope that these guys are just kind of warming themselves up for something special a little bit later, and they're not just and then, that's it. What caused you to masturbate? A topless woman, dude. You went to a sex club and it was all it was a topless woman.
Right, you've moved on. Like topless women shouldn't do anything for you anymore.
No, they should not. They should not. You're right. Okay.
Rider, mother, trucker, Jesus said the first rule of underground sex club is you don't talk about underground sex. That's what I would assume as well.
Isn't that something? Yeah, there could be some trouble brewing after she's coughed up all this inside information.
Oh, this must be a younger guy texting it. Ranger Gear Grinder Jesus said, you're just clearing the cannon. Yeah, I forgot you can go more than once in a day, much less a week.
I did have that thought as well, that this was just getting that first one out of the way. So the second time around, you come off like a rock star.
Sure.
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with all this?
That's actually the smart play. I'm as a novice, somebody who's never been, I didn't figure that out. That's an expert right there, masturbating in front of a topless bartender.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first thing you do when you get in the door. You go up to the topless bartender, you rope one out, and then you really get the night going after that.
That'll teach you not to judge someone when you have no idea what you're talking about.
So, also, inside information on this underground sex club, you don't got to worry about cops busting the place because their most loyal and frequent customers are cops, according to a lady who works there. Their most common, customers are cops. She can join in on the action anytime, anywhere she wants. Maybe that's a specific perk for an employee. But, she can just kind of jump on and jump in wherever she chooses.
Her new job or more recent job as a bartender, I thought that was kind of cool that they could take a shot. Although I've heard some of them don't. When you were a bartender, Ashley, did you pretend to take shots?
Yes.
You did? Okay. Is that super common?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard that.
Why would you pretend to take shots?
They tip you more if you take a shot with them.
That's what I had heard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's weird. I don't know why people love to drink with the bartender.
Well, shots are kind of like that, right? I mean, Nick and I have mentioned this before. If you turn down a shot, no matter how polite you are and explain, well, I'm about to get in my car, people act like it's the biggest insult in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's weird is they still act like that when you're working. They're like, no. I know the manager. They're totally cool with it. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever.
I've been going to bars for a long time, and some of my least favorite characters are those shot pushers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Settle down. Okay, congratulations. You're going to get drunk. You know what? Grow up. It's okay that you get drunk all by yourself. I don't need to be drunk with you. Stop it. Stop pushing shots on me because I don't want them. Why is that such a difficult answer to hear for the shot pushers when you tell them, I have no interest in taking any shot? Why is that such difficult news to hear?
Good question.
It's strange to me that people get really offended by that.
One of my bartender friends, she says she does the move where she'll like take the shot and like put it in her mouth and then take like a beer chaser and then just put it right back down into the beer bottle.
Oh.
So
she's a spitter.
So she takes the shot, but she doesn't actually take the shot.
I've never heard that theory before, that customers tip more if the bartender drinks with them. I've been, like I said, I've been going to bars for many years. I've never seen anyone bother the bartender about taking a drink with them, ever.
Really?
But
wow.
maybe that's because
that's been super common.
I go to old timers bars, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, they probably don't do that at the Legion.
That's actually where it was the worst. when I worked at a bar in Wisconsin, it was just me and a bunch of, most of my customers were above 40. They wanted me to drink so bad.
So they're the shot pushers.
Yeah.
You were hanging out with...
I'm like, no, even like they wanted me to just have a beer. I'm like, I don't have any desire to do that right now. Like, I'm working. That doesn't sound fun to have like one beer.
Well, I think it'd be different. Like if I was bartending versus you're a cute blonde. You know, people are going to want to drink with you more than they would me. Maybe that has a lot to do with it.
That's a good point because, I drink with old timers. Okay, who gets all the ass at the underground sex club? The answer is the bouncers.
Good for them.
These guys are all cut, and the ladies just hand it out to the bouncers like it's Halloween candy.
Good for them.
They do have people on staff who do nothing but, quote, clean up the messes.
Oh, those poor people. They better get paid a lot of money for that.
It says here they get $4.5 million a year.
Good.
Yeah, ex-front load Jesus wants to know if they have spittoons there for that reason.
You son of a bitch.
Hold on, I'm going over here to make my deposit.
I will not tolerate any more of that. But that was hilarious. Finally, all this inside information on one specific underground sex club in New York City. This would be kind of fun to watch. There's plenty there that would be fun to watch, but specifically, this lady bartender says it's a lot of fun to watch first-timers.
I'll bet.
Yeah,
I'll bet. I bet they also can just pick them out the second they walk in.
Oh, for sure. You
walk
can
through
tell.
the beaded door or whatever they have. Dry-aged ribeye Jesus said they had a bottle of Jack Daniels that was just full of apple juice, so they'd take a shot of that when customers wanted them to drink.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah, a lot of people are texting in like their tricks if they were bartending, what they would do.
Just generally speaking, it doesn't matter if it's booze, shots, beer. It doesn't. I just have I've always had a pet peeve with folks. Why aren't you drinking? What, you're not going to get wasted? I'm wasted. How come you're not drinking? Well, you could have another. Why don't you just have one more? Why aren't you drinking? I don't understand those people. Why are you so obsessed with what everyone else is doing? Like I said before, go ahead. You're a grown person. Get drunk. You can do it alone.
See, I think that's the point of it is that they don't want to be drunk alone. They don't because it's more sad, I guess, if you're hammered by yourself.
There is nothing sad about that. I want to make those people feel better. I've been drunk alone many, many times. Nothing sad about it. You earn that right to be drunk alone. Okay, one more note here. Again, I mentioned that this lady at the underground sex club, she gets a kick out of seeing first-timers walk in, and this is cute. She describes it like, say, your 8th grade dance kind of atmosphere where the newcomers are kind of standing up against the wall, too shy to make a move, too shy to go talk to anybody, but eventually, once one set of newcomers starts, well, at an 8th grade dance, it would be dancing, in this case, an underground sex club. Once one set of newcomers starts banging, they all start banging.
I can see. I'm just picturing the guys standing there, kind of their hands in their pocket, against the wall, awkwardly looking at their phone, not knowing what to do.
Sort of touching himself to the topless bartender, but sort of not.
Just kicking one foot back and forth.
Yeah. I've seen that before. There you go. See, maybe now you know why I was so interested in that topic. That's fun.
I would like to see the dynamic, if nothing else.
Yeah, I'd like to just watch.
Let's just go to one. Let's just go.
Yeah, nice little work field trip.
Do you think they'd let us in? Maybe just for journalistic purposes?
Yeah, absolutely.
I never thought of that. We get a little press pass.
Yeah, press pass.
Hanging from your pecker.
Maybe the boss can put his credit card down for us.
Hang it from your...
Oh, I bet we'll just put it on his tab.
Yeah. That's a good point.
He definitely goes to underground sex clubs.
Dang. I had my opportunities to be involved in things like this. And it was one of the few situations where I didn't act on it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't.
Me too.
Well, Dana, go for it.
Yeah,
Report back. Let us know.
I'm in the healthiest relationship of my life. Might as well start going to underground sex clubs.
Well, here's the thing. Maybe underground sex clubs aren't my thing. Maybe wide open to the public sex clubs are more my thing. You know what I mean? I want everybody to know. Forget that underground stuff. Let's put it right on Main Street under the lights.
You start promoting them like Wapple's bar gigs, you know? Nick's going to be at this public sex club tonight.
I'll be at the corner of Johnson Street and Smackdown Boulevard. Here we go. It's, Wednesday morning on the Half-Assed Morning Show. We'll have Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver ducking in here a little bit later with us. So we got that going, and we appreciate you tuning in. Hope your Halloween hangover isn't too bad. We'll be back in a few minutes on the program.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Half redneck, half posh. 100% fun. Trey Crowder and Corey Ryan Forrester try and learn fancy culture in putting on airs.
The host of the Medium Popcorn Podcast, Brandon Collins and Justin Brown.
Okay, so Paddington 2 had like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes for years.
You guys ruined that?
Justin came in and like took it down like 2 points because of his rating. That's the time we started getting death threats.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. People worship that movie.
Putting on airs. The podcast is on YouTube and wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
God, I hate this place.
What happened?
Well, you guys know it over there in the other studio. Josh and I have the same thing going over. It's like we're sitting in a fish house over here.
Dude, it's so messed up.
Why is it so cold in this friggin' building all year round?
I just want to be able to wear normal clothes to this place.
Yeah, I love how you wear like a winter coat in here in the summertime and you walk outside and it's 95.
I hate this friggin' place, Wapple. You hate it too.
Yep.
Here's the deal. We had a wonderful conversation a few minutes ago about an underground sex club in New York City. I say we got to go to one of these things. Got a few text messages. Got a couple of text messages on the underground sex club. First, I got a text from female version of Nick Sheezes. And she said, most people that go to sex clubs aren't people you want to have sex with. And I wrote back, yeah, I know, but it's never stopped me before.
True.
Also, we had this happen, too. There was a story, a little side story from this article on an underground sex club that said, well, the story was written by a lady who bartends at the club. She's a former porn star. She takes her top and her bra off, and she bartends topless at the joint, right? And she says it's not out of the ordinary for some dude to walk over and just watch her mixing drinks, and he starts tugging off. Josh was saying, what a waste. You go all the way to the underground sex club, and that's what a topless, well, how could that be? Some of the rest of us thought maybe he was just warming himself up for the main event, and I got a text on that. A listener says, just think of it like a running back riding the exercise bike on the sideline. He's just trying to avoid a cramp. Just staying warm. He's staying warm. It's an excellent comparison.
Definitely.
All right, here we go. One more quick note. A listener texted in and wanted me to mention that the Tool show was amazing last night.
That's what I hear.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear.
Well, that's just
My
great.
cousin was working it, and he said it was awesome.
Yeah. I've seen good things on Twitter, too. I saw they also didn't allow phones for photos and videos during it.
Yeah, I don't think they've allowed that for a long time.
That's been their thing?
I love bands that do that.
And videos. Not allowed, huh? You love when bands do that? Why is that?
Well, because I'm short, so then if you put someone in front of me that also has like their phone out above their head, it makes it even harder for me to see.
I see what you mean. Yeah, everyone has their phone up in the air. Sure. Okay. I hear you. All right. I was wondering why I couldn't quite hear correctly out of my headphones. Well, that's because one of my earphones was up against my stocking cap that I'm wearing inside. Because you have to wear a toque to broadcast from this friggin' stupid fish house.
For real.
I was like, what happened to the hearing in my left ear is gone. That's my stocking cap, Josh.
You do like to bundle up. I noticed Dana's wearing a stocking cap, too.
Yeah, and I don't get cold very easily. So when I get cold, you know it's really cold.
Here we go. Real law enforcement in a place called DeSoto County, Florida. Real law enforcement down there are telling the locals to look out for fake law enforcement, specifically a fake law enforcement vehicle that's out there supposedly pulling folks over, even though they have no authority at all. And I know what you're saying. Again, with the grown folks playing cops and robbers. Yeah, it happened again. But this time around, it doesn't seem as creepy and crooked as some of the other fake cops we've heard of out there. It sounds more harmless and juvenile than the others. And I am kind of surprised anyone's fallen for this nonsense because the words Booty Patrol are printed on the side of the vehicle.
You got to be careful with that stuff. Remember in Cobra Kai where Johnny Lawrence was wearing the FBI female body inspector T-shirt,
Yeah.
and he got in trouble with like the mafia or something? I can't remember. They thought he was a real
drug
cop.
cartel or
Yeah.
something. And I love that Johnny had just seen that for the first time and thought it was the funniest thing he'd ever seen.
Right.
It was so perfect for
In
his
2021 or 2022, whatever. Yeah, it was the first time he'd seen it.
I'm going to punch up the music video for Bootylicious while I read the stupid...
Don't. Wait till afterwards. We'll lose you. You can't watch that while we're on the air. You know better.
Probably right about that.
Although it might heat you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a vehicle. It's a white Chevy Silverado. It's got the red and blue lights on the lid of the vehicle. And the sheriff's office there in DeSoto County, Florida, they're asking drivers to keep an eye out for the Booty Patrol mobile. Cops have pulled them over before because the red and blue lights they have up top are illegal. They did issue the Booty Patrol captain a citation.
I love that gig. I want that title. Booty Patrol Captain? That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. You slide your business card across the table and it has that listed as your title.
Before, I thought a coworker of ours, when he described his job as the director of looking out the window, I thought that was the best job title. This one's better.
The director of looking out the window, and he was good at that.
He's one of the best still to this day.
The owner of the Booty Patrol says he's never tried to pull anyone over. I find that hard to believe. He says he's been posting photos of the truck on social media. What a dork. The story here seems to think he's just doing it for fun, not to actually mess with anyone. And yeah, they mentioned here in the article, I just said it out loud, they've been posting pictures of this truck on social media for a while. It seems to me that this is not our first run-in with the Booty Patrol mobile. But anyway, they've been running with this bit all over the state of effing Florida.
There's a particular town here that has a particularly well-known lake with some well-known bikinis that would be on that thing. Sure, you good eye candy on this lake. And the police department, whenever they go out there to patrol it, they call it Bikini Patrol.
Bikini Patrol, sure.
Keeping everybody safe.
Yeah.
From G-strings and whatnot. Tan lines.
So locals have been told if you get pulled over by the Booty Patrol, call the sheriff's department so they can get there quick and baton these dummies upside the head, the Booty Patrol.
I want to be deputized if I ever run into those guys.
That'd be cool.
You know what I'm saying. Well, we're one day removed from Halloween. This could be the work of the devil right here. Or a 17-year-old kid with access to one of those vehicles that paints lines on the road ski. A mysterious yellow line has upped and appeared in the middle of a Florida road for the second time in about a month. The first time a yellow line showed up on a road, nobody could figure out how it got there. And now this time a yellow line has been laid out on some other road, and cops are trying to figure out how the hell this one happened too. And obviously, the problem with the damn yellow line being laid out in the middle of a road is that folks will think they're on the wrong side when they're on the right side, and confusion and panic will set in, and all hell might cut loose.
I also wonder what that does for autonomous driving vehicles or people that have the lane assist. Probably messes you up pretty good.
Oh, I have that lane assist, and I hate it. Because if I just like want to get over a tiny bit, like I'm not even switching lanes, it'll kick in because I don't have my blinker on. It'll just like swerve me right back, and I'm like, oh, no. Please, I don't want to get in a car accident.
I had a rental that had that. I didn't like it either.
I'm sure there's a way to turn it off. I've been too lazy to look it up.
You're telling me there's a gimmick on your motor vehicle, and I know mine has this. I just haven't turned it on. I never asked too many questions as to how it works. It can determine the color of the lines on the road?
Well, I don't know if it's the color or if it's solid or dotted. I don't know.
Yeah,
wow.
I wonder. Yeah, I don't know what it reads,
That's
but
because
crazy.
sometimes it doesn't read. I noticed the dashed ones. I noticed it didn't read as well as it did the solid ones. So,
yeah,
I have no idea if it was a color or what.
It lets you know when you're going a little ways to the left or a little ways to the.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It'll beep, and then if at least the one I was driving, if you didn't do anything about it, it would turn it for you. Straighten you out.
That's not right.
Is that what yours does, Ashley?
Yep. Yeah, it freaks me out.
That's just the government trying to control us. Now, in this latest case of a yellow line being painted on a road in Florida, and no one knows who the hell did it or where it came from, the road appears to be a 5-lane setup, all meant to be going in one direction. But now with a yellow line running smooth down the middle, folks might jump on that highway and they don't know which way is the correct way to go. So
that could confuse a drunk or two, for sure.
That could confuse me even if I didn't have any beer in me.
Yeah.
If it was a road a road I'm not familiar with, I'd think, well, wait a minute, what am I doing here?
Do you guys ever have those moments when, especially if there's construction, where the road kind of changes, where you really have no idea where to go, and if there wasn't someone in front of you, you'd be screwed?
One more time?
Like during construction, they changed the route of the road and all that.
Detours.
Yeah. If I didn't have people in front of me to like follow what line I'm actually supposed to be in, I'd be confused half the time.
Oh, I've been there before where I thought, okay, which way am I going now?
Yeah, it's confusing.
it happens.
It's like they're setting us up for failure.
I'm tired of that. I've been dealing with that my whole life. My whole life. So there you go. That's the drama going on. Some of the drama going on in Florida.
With all the traffic cams, you think they'd figure that out pretty quick. I mean, I watched a video of this line, and it was on a traffic cam. So I'm not sure how they haven't figured out who did that.
Well, F me. This isn't good. A fella down there in Nebraska went missing. He was on the run from the cops, don't you know? But by God, they found him. Cops found him dead. Stuck in somebody's chimney.
Oh, no. I bet he died from the flu.
You cold-blooded son of a bitch.
That was stupid.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No one in the other room even understood the joke.
No.
You didn't even understand it, did you? You guys don't. You guys don't understand, Cubby. That's the problem. He's too smart for the rest of you.
He is.
That was good. Don't ever tell me that's a stupid joke. I love that joke. This here is a hell of a story. This poor guy's name was Zachariah Andrews. Sounds like he was dead in that chimney for quite a stretch of time before he was. Yeah.
I mean, have you ever had has anyone had a fireplace, a real fireplace?
Never.
Yeah.
We had one, and if you...
Oh, yeah, I did once. I only lived there for a couple of years. Go ahead, Cubby.
If you've never experienced an animal that has been there for a while dripping down the fireplace, you haven't lived. Just animal goo after a while.
Bro,
and we used to
that's
get
nasty.
Growing up, we used to get bats in that thing all the time.
Animal goo.
I lived there for 2 years. We never lit one fire. I was too lazy to collect the wood, so we never even lit one fire in 2 years. A good friend of mine growing up, Josh, they would get dead animals in their chimney all the time. I never saw the drippage, but I smelt the carcass.
Yeah, it's rough.
And this the particular house that I'm talking about that had a fireplace in the basement, this was kind of fun when we were in about 5th grade. They had a real problem with raccoons reproducing in their chimney. And this was a fun game. When you'd turn all the lights out in the basement, you could hear the raccoons scrambling up and down the chimney, scrambling around at the base of the fireplace, right? You turn the lights off, you didn't hear a sound. You turn the lights on, you didn't hear a sound. They froze. You turn the lights off, they got active immediately. So one night, it was kind of fun. We turned all the lights off and snuck down as quietly as we could into the basement, and then shined a flashlight at the fireplace, and we saw like 4 sets of raccoon eyes.
Oh, man.
And I always thought it was kind of interesting that my buddy, and obviously his parents living there, were completely comfortable going to bed at night knowing that raccoons could just be walking around the house anywhere they wanted to. What's to stop them from walking into the house? Nothing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a family of squirrels or something in my attic. I hear those every once in a while.
This poor guy here, he was dead in that chimney for quite a stretch of time before he was found. A good month ago, folks called the cops to report screams for help coming out of a building in the neighborhood. By the time the cops got there, the screams had stopped. The cops made a lap around the building. They didn't hear or see jack squat. A month later, some poor bastard maintenance worker was in that same building, and he smelled something awful coming from Summers.
But that's bad.
And that's when he saw a set of shoes sticking out the bottom of the chimney.
Thankfully,
I mean, connected to a set of legs, of course, is what I mean by that, yeah.
Thankfully, I've never smelled that, but I've heard from folks who have that it's something that sticks with you.
The smell of a dead body?
A human body, yeah.
God help us.
I mean, just even dead mice or so that can get pretty rancid. I can't imagine a person.
This Andrews fellow was a pretty bad guy. I read some of why he was on the run from the local cops, and it's not good. Some of it has to do with kids, so you don't need to hear that kind of thing. Police believe this guy's death was accidental, but they're still they're going to go ahead and look in on it.
One of those, oh no, that's too bad. Lost a sex, oh no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's that old saying, Cubby? You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Did I get that right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. This here next stupid news story comes from Russia. So you know it's going to feature a moron.
Damn Ruskies.
A Russian man was recently arrested after stealing 53 new iPhones on his very first day of work at an electronics store.
Maybe don't go with 53 on the first day.
Mean like one a day over 53 days?
Start small.
Well, why not? Just put in one day and you're out.
Apparently, a video is whipping around stupid social media where this dude is, quote, cleaning up at the store. So the way he managed this, he somehow got himself a key. He must be very persuasive. He somehow got himself a key to the store before his very first day. I think he told the bosses he wanted to show up early on day one before everybody else and do some cleaning. You know what this place looks like, and I'll be the guy that could clean it up. If you just give me a key, I'll come in a couple hours early. I'll clean the place up. So when you get here, and the bosses are probably thinking, well, isn't that nice? The new guy wants to come in early and help with the cleaning. But his intentions were crooked from the get-go. In the video of this guy's caper, I guess that's something he didn't consider at first, that the video cameras might be on. In the video, it's not difficult to see that he's not cleaning. He's pushing iPhones into a damn suitcase and filling bags with iPhone cases. Because those cost a few bucks too, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. You can spend
and you need a case for the phone.
You do?
Yep, or else, I mean, you're just risking it.
Does my phone have a case?
It does.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it does? I'm looking right at it. Well, where's the case?
On the outside of your phone.
What time is it?
6:44
a.m.
Is
it 6:44?
Yeah. That's not even a phone. You're looking at a stapler.
This is a stapler.
Yeah, look, your phone is over there. That's the confusion. Answer your phone.
Hello.
Try and answer.
Hello. That's a stapler.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Here, I'm going to call you from my phone.
Well, let me answer.
Now we both have staplers.
Hello. Can I again do my imitation of my buddy Wang answering his telephone?
Please do.
Okay, someone make a telephone ring sound.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
There's always the stutter.
There's always a hesitation.
Like he's nervous?
He is a nervous guy. Wang is a very nervous guy.
He doesn't quite know if he should answer it.
He doesn't quite. Yeah,
Hello?
it's like he forgot. What's the typical greeting? I've been making telephone calls to Wang since 1987, and every single time he answers, he says, "Hello." Why can't you get the first one out? You can ask Wang at the Little River Band show at Medina Ballroom in a couple of weeks. Ask Wang. There's a couple things I think I've mentioned this on the radio that I want people to ask Wang about. Oh, ask him about vomiting all over the city of Chicago.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Also, ask him why he can't answer a telephone like a grown person.
Is it just he's surprised someone's calling? Is
That
it more
could be
that?
because he is very unpopular. That could be.
Poor Wayne.
Hello?
Back to the idea of a rotting body.
Oh, no.
Someone says here that you'd actually be surprised what a little lie can cover up. You can sit and watch TV with a corpse for weeks. Don't even smell it. L-Y-E. And Asian Cop Jesus said that smell, where is he? Yeah. You never forget the smell of a decomposed body.
That's what they make it seem like in the movies. Usually they walk in, they're like, oh, I know that smell.
You know, if you want to later, we could have a full conversation on the worst smells known to man.
I'd be down for that.
Why not?
If you want to. Call Wang, ask him what he thinks.
Bet he'll answer the phone very confidently and...
very clearly.
Yeah.
And on the first push. Why can't he get the word hello out on the first push? Nobody knows.
I want to call him on the air.
Yeah, I know. I want to see if he does it. Yeah.
So here's this guy, 44-year-old man, too, which adds to just how straight up pathetic this guy is, doing the iPhone stealing. He's sweeping them into suitcases. He's sweeping cases, how should I say that, iPhone cases into bags. At one point, okay, he knows the cameras are on him. He tries to alter the angles of the surveillance cameras in the building with a mop. You know, try to get him to point away from where he's stealing everything. That didn't work, so he just keeps going. He also had the balls to snatch $570 out the cash register on his way out. Because he didn't even put on any kind of an effort to conceal his face, dumbass was quickly identified by the cops. He was arrested at his house. Cops were able to confiscate some of the stolen telephones, but he told the cops he had managed to sell dozens of them on his way home.
Wow.
Working fast.
Guy had a plan.
He must have stopped by a high school or something like that. In total, Russian Dinkus here, he stole $32,000 worth of gear from the store. I'm sure the person that hired him feels like a jackhole.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine having to explain that to the higher-ups?
I
wonder if those were used. $32,000 for 53 iPhones seems low.
Oh, is that cheap? I wouldn't have the first idea, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think it'd be around like 53,000.
Me too, yeah.
Like this cell phone that I have here.
Yeah, yours was probably even a little more than that.
More than what?
More than $1,000.
Are you doing me from behind?
No.
This thing.
Wait a minute. Did you and I have the same dream last night?
This phone that I hold in my hand right now is worth more than $1,000.
Yeah,
easily.
I would have said $200.
That's a stapler.
Yeah, again. Dude,
No.
Set the stapler down.
Look at this thing. I push a button.
That is a printer.
I know the difference between a stapler and a cell phone. Now I do. Oh, no.
Now we've really done
This
it.
thing.
Yeah, okay, now that is your cell phone.
I never would have told you that this was worth more than $1,000.
Well, you're mostly, or I should say most likely, you're paying for that monthly, I'd imagine, through your provider.
Paying for it?
Yeah, you got it every month. They send you a bill. Have you not paid your bill?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's why you haven't been answering text messages. That makes sense.
Just call Wang. All right. One more? I think we got time. Oh, here we go. What happened?
Sorry.
Are people texting in about my phone?
No, Texas Carpenter wants to, he's imagining an introduction between Ashley and Wang.
Okay.
Where Ashley says, "Hi, Wayne. I'm Ashley." And he says, "No, it's Wang." And she says, "Oh, hi, Wayne." Can you say Wang?
Wayne?
Yeah,
No.
it's Wayne.
No,
Texas Carpenter, you're a genius.
I heard you say it earlier and I let it go. You have to, Ashley, if you're going to be around my friends, you have to know how to say their names. And I have a friend named Wayne, and I have a friend named Wang. You can't go around calling them both Wayne.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Say Wang.
I'm sorry.
Wang, say it.
Wayne.
You're still coming up short.
yeah.
Wayne.
Wang.
Wang?
There you go.
Oh, that's
There.
better.
Yeah, that was good.
Really? Dude, that's painful. People just normally talk like that? That's crazy to me.
I'm tired of this.
Wang.
You have to figure out your NGs.
Wayne
Or
and
no
Wang.
more. We're going to take away your vape stick until you
No.
can figure out your NGs. You will no longer be smoking.
I didn't even realize I was doing that. My bad.
Yeah, last night my boyfriend showed me his Wayne, and we're totally confused. Wang.
Here we go with this song and dance. It's been a while since we've heard one of these, so here goes. A lady. You're still with me?
So far.
A lady, she's on social media. She's an influencer. She's body positive. And of course, she's just buried in money. And, she can't wait to tell you all about her money. She can't hold back that information for very long. Hell no. She's made close to $1 million selling her armpit hair.
That doesn't interest me.
No. Don't like to kink shame, but that doesn't do much for me here.
I'd sell my armpit hair if someone wanted to buy it.
Why not?
Who the hell?
So would I.
wouldn't?
Yeah.
Who the hell wouldn't?
I got a lot of it, too.
Again, whenever we cover one of these online gals who spits or farts into a bucket and sells it to, and they're always supposedly making millions of dollars.
That is hard to believe.
I'm not mad at them. I'm not. Although they do seem just a tad conceited. I just cannot understand who on earth is writing them checks for hundreds of dollars for a wad of effing body hair. I mean, I
And
know
just that there's that many out there, allegedly.
Yeah.
Where she's making, $9.5 million a month.
I mean, if you like body hair, I got two buddies. It's not Wang. He's mostly hairless. Two of my buddies, Vinny and Doug. Hell, you can come over to the Legion in Wayzata. They'll let you have some of their body hair in trade for a 16-ounce can of beer. You don't need to be writing checks to supermodels if you like. So this gal goes by the name of Fenella Fox. I believe she's from England. She's hit 30 years old now. She started off in porno movies when she was 18. But then she started posting images of her body hair online, going for a new angle. She went with the married person look. She said, "I stopped wearing makeup. I stopped styling my hair. I stopped shaving and let my body do its natural thing." And soon she became known as a body positive influencer. And she's made, according to her, millions of dollars. She says there have been some drawbacks to being the body hair princess of social media. Now, this sounds awfully dramatic to me, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. She says that she suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder due to the criticism she receives online.
Kind of did it to yourself. I don't know.
I don't know if that's a legitimate thing. She's also, does anyone know anything about this? Some of you young people probably know about this. You probably all have this problem. She also says she's developed something called digital vertigo. I'm lost in digital vertigo because she stares at her cellular telephone 14 hours a day. Dana, you have to have digital vertigo.
I don't think I do, but maybe.
That's the first symptom.
Is it?
Not realizing that you
have a problem?
Some days I do kind of get like I have a weird feeling when I get off the TV or all these computer screens here.
I mean, there are times during the day where I have my laptop open, I have 2 TVs on, and I'm looking at my phone as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Wapple, you get a little dizzy or something like that?
No, it's just something just feels off.
Well, what exactly feels off?
Do you think it's because you get high 6 times a day?
Oh, it's because I'm high.
Well, no, honestly, what's the feeling? It's not dizziness. Is it like brain fog, like we got from COVID?
Yeah,
okay,
kind of like that.
Are you constantly? Let me ask you something. Another symptom. Are you constantly kind of playing with your zipper a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I've heard those symptoms before.
Oh, I'm
a little bit of brain fog
and masturbating.
You're always tugging at your fly. No, no. Honestly, that's probably what you have then, Wapple. You probably have digital vertigo.
Fun Size Shiza said, stories like this make me realize I'm in the wrong line of work. Screw hard work. I just need to stop shaving, apparently. Yeah, why not? Like Ashley said. Ashley, you could probably make a couple of bucks doing that.
Yeah, I mean, why not? I don't know. I don't like letting hair grow, though.
Yeah, that's why Josh and I wear our hair the way we do. We don't like letting it grow.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's gross. Yeah, it's a hell of a deal.
And you know what? It's rude. It's disrespectful. And pretty soon I'm hoping that society shuns men with hair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of ways to make money online. There's no doubt about that. Just look out for digital vertigo. We'll be back in a minute on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Victor Wembanyama. That's cool, man. Slender Man. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Who? Slender Man, the movie.
You don't know Slender Man?
No, I do not.
I mean, because you've never been slim. Victor, I got one final question. How do you say churro in French?
Churro? What is that?
Churro. You know what churro is. You've been in San Antonio long enough.
It's a dessert.
It's a dessert.
This asks what it is.
The long donut.
What? I've never heard of that. All right.
We apologize for the way that ended.
Well, they had all kinds of things going on the NBA on TNT program last night.
It was a good show yesterday.
Yeah, Shaq was dressed up as Emo Shaq.
That was funny.
For Halloween, he had the pretty hairdo like Jimmy Bottles had a few days ago.
So great.
They had that Victor Wembanyama on the air. For whatever reason, Charles Barkley wanted to bother him about how to say churro in French. Churro?
Or if you even,
that's some kind of a food, right?
Yeah, it's a dessert.
Mm-hmm. Churro, okay. He's bothering him. What did you think about Wembanyama's Halloween costume? He went as Slender Man.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, that's sweet.
It's a great idea.
I saw that yesterday. He's perfect.
It was scary.
Honestly.
It was legitimately scary.
It is creepy.
What else did I miss? Was there anything else in there, Josh?
Let's see.
They had a hell of a show last night.
They did. We talked about that. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty much.
We covered what happened.
Charles Barkley was saying that Karl Anthony Towns should go to the Knicks.
Oh, we got to bring that up to Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. Absolutely. Here's the deal. It was a good show last night on TNT. Game 4 of the World Series was a mess. Most of us, I did at least, I started flipping away from the game after the third inning. It was 10-0 Texas. And Texas came back. Not Texas came back. Texas went on to win by a final of 11-7. That's a misleading final score because this game was over before you even got yourself settled in. So the Rangers are now 1 win away from their very first World Series title. They'll go for it tonight in Game 5, 7 o'clock on Channel 9. Vikings went ahead and traded for a quarterback named Josh Dobbs. I'm not familiar with this kid at all. Maybe the rest of you are in the same boat. I guess we'll find out together.
Yeah, my first question was who?
Yeah, who is Josh Dobbs? And it sounds like he won't start Sunday in Atlanta, but maybe after that they'll give him the football. A lot of folks texting in about Dick Bramer. We're going to discuss that in great detail at 7:30 when Randy Shaver and Brad. I'm very happy for Dick Bramer. The word is he's retiring from broadcasting. He's got a new gig as like an ambassador for the Minnesota Twins. He'll be going to events and speaking to crowds. I think that's wonderful. Wonderful. I'm very happy for him.
Good for him. Bad for the rest of us.
Yes, very
of course,
bad for the rest of us.
It goes without saying that we're going to miss hearing him and seeing him and his brilliance in broadcasting Twins games, but After 40 years, hell, I would have walked away a long time ago. Good for Dick. Have a great time.
He doesn't have to travel anymore.
Absolutely.
Or like that.
Absolutely. I'm very, very happy. Wolves are at home tonight. Boy, they sucked last time around. The Wolves are at home tonight against the champs. 7 o'clock on Bally Sports North. Much more in a half hour. But don't go nowheres because my life partner Josh's news report is coming up.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get into the fascinating, wonderful Bonnie Wright.
Oh, yeah. Ray Fiennes was the most chilling actor to work around.
He wasn't funny and making jokes.
No. A little bit, but in, like, Voldemort way.
Did you feel like he got very little direction? They let him do what he was just doing?
I'm sure he was probably the type of actor that would go kind of quietly and speak to the director rather than
What am I doing wrong? What do you want me to do?
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
Hundreds of hours of volunteer time have been undone. There are trees that we have planted that were fairly mature, 6 to 15 years old, that have been driven into the ground.
A Seattle man was arrested for tearing down part of the forested area of a public park while claiming to have permission to build himself a house, and he attempted to do so with a stolen excavator. He was doing everything wrong. 41-year-old Stephen Irwin was busted following multiple 911 calls Saturday afternoon from concerned citizens who witnessed the huge machinery zipping along the sidewalk.
He was driving a little crazy, this giant piece of heavy machinery, and they were like, well, does he have a weapon? And I'm like, yes, he has a backhoe. That's a weapon. And they're like, no, we mean a gun or a knife. And I'm like, well, this is a lot more dangerous than a knife. He's driving a backhoe through the park.
When police arrived, they found Irwin still inside the machinery, which is thought to have been stolen from a nearby construction site.
For somebody to have the nerve to take a piece of equipment of this value and destroy our urban forests makes you question everything. Why has Seattle become a no-rules playground?
The man reportedly claimed he had permission from the city to build a house in the park. He did not. Volunteers who helped clean up the area reportedly retrieved propane tanks, chainsaws, 5 pounds of weed, methamphetamines, and a dozen stolen credit cards from Irwin's makeshift encampment.
Hey, Cubby.
Yes, sir.
Have the voices in your head ever commanded you to build yourself a house?
No, they haven't.
No.
But there are signs I'm going nuts.
Like what?
Tell us the signs.
Yeah.
I've found myself a few times in the last couple months driving with nothing on in the background. Isn't that the sign of a crazy person?
I feel a little crazy when I do that too.
Oh, I never listen really to anything in the car.
That makes.
Oh, this is not helping my cause, Dana.
That doesn't help.
You know, I was already feeling a little concerned. Nick, will you drive me home?
Good Lord.
I realized the other day.
That couldn't have worked out any more perfectly. Come on, you never listened to the radio, you never listened to compact disc, cassette tapes, nothing.
No, unless I'm driving a long way, like a road trip or something.
That is the sign of a crazy person.
Oh, I guess your drive is like less than 10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a short drive.
That doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
Dang it. Thanks for trying to help, though, Ashley.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Dana, thanks for nothing.
I like how you meant that comment to be comforting.
It was the opposite.
And Josh said, holy balls.
Josh is Googling therapist right now.
A pilot has been indicted for allegedly threatening to shoot the plane's captain if the captain diverted the flight due to a passenger who apparently needed medical attention. A grand jury in Utah issued the indictment against Jonathan Dunn over an incident from August last year. The Transportation Department's Inspector General's office said in an email yesterday Dunn was the co-pilot on the flight and authorized to carry a gun under a program run by the TSA. After a disagreement about a potential flight diversion due to a passenger's medical event, Dunn told the captain they would be shot multiple times if the captain diverted the flight. The Inspector General identified it only as a commercial airline flight, didn't say what it was scheduled for the route or whether it was diverted. Interference with a flight crew is a felony, punishable by up to 20 years in prison. That's a little disconcerting.
What a friggin' psycho.
That's the type of guy that doesn't listen to anything in the car on his way to and from work.
You know what you do there? You take the gun away from that douchebag, and then when they land that plane, you let the pilot punch him square in the jaw.
Yeah, a couple hundred times. Last week, of course, we learned about an Alaska Airlines flight where an off-duty pilot tried to shut down the plane's engines mid-flight. Joseph David Emerson, who was en route to fly another plane, hadn't slept for 40 hours and discussed using psychedelic mushrooms.
Woo!
Many people have made embarrassing language flubs while traveling abroad, but not many have accidentally caused a bomb scare by mistranslating the local word for pomegranate. The mother of all translation errors occurred Friday evening in Portugal, where a 36-year-old Russian speaker was trying to order fruit juice at a restaurant in Lisbon. Things backfired after he tried to translate pomegranate into Portuguese using a language app. But he wrote the translation on a napkin, handed it to a waiter, and it turned out that launched a series of events no one expected. Little did he know the app had given him the word for grenade, causing the panicked staffer to interpret the note as a bomb threat, and they called police. Video showed officers approaching the hapless traveler with their guns drawn as he lied prone on the ground. He then was cuffed and taken into custody. The tourist was subsequently transported to a local police station for interrogation, where he was later released after they learned what had happened.
That'd be a helpless feeling.
He's just totally confused. No idea.
Helpless feeling. Tough to talk your way out of that one.
More like pomegranate, right? You know what I'm saying?
Nailed it.
A Connecticut state trooper witnessed a Dodge Challenger displaying several steady red and blue illuminated lights last week. But a run of the license plates found the vehicle didn't belong to a law enforcement agency, so the officer pulled it over. When asked about the vehicle's lights, the driver, 43-year-old Michael Marshall, admitted to using aftermarket controls inside his vehicle to illuminate the red and blue lights for the purposes of getting to work faster. He was taken into custody and charged with impersonating a police officer. A Tampa man was arrested for allegedly driving a vehicle with the Florida Highway Patrol color scheme. 60-year-old Robert Bowen was pulled over Monday and said he didn't know about the law regarding using the Florida Highway Patrol color scheme.
I'm sure he didn't.
However, troopers asked, well, that's kind of weird because you were pulled over in February and June for the same thing and were told you couldn't have the colors on your car. He was charged with a misdemeanor and his car was towed. Earlier this month, Florida troopers arrested a 28-year-old woman for the same thing. The woman was driving a Dodge Charger with blue and white lights and a light bar. Also, she had an emergency siren that appeared to belong to the Florida Highway Patrol. They also noted the car had a decal on the side, which read FSO Guard, and another decal which resembled a police badge. When asked about the car, the driver originally told the trooper she was taking it for a test drive. When the trooper explained it was illegal to own a car with the same color scheme as the FHP patrol units, she said she didn't know that and then changed her story, saying she bought the car from an auction. Do you guys remember this story?
Yep.
A couple weeks ago? When she was informed that the FHP doesn't sell any of its marked vehicles under the same color, she admitted she was the owner of a security company called FSO Guard, and she just loved the color scheme, so she outfitted her car to look like the state troopers. An Arizona high school teacher has been removed from the classroom for allegedly dressing up as the devil and greeting students entering his classroom with "Hail Satan." Students say the teacher walked into class last Wednesday wearing devil horns and carrying a pitchfork, which he waved over students' heads as they entered the room to the "Hail Satan" greeting.
He was saying "Hail Satan" and like putting the pitchfork over everyone's head. And I said, "Don't do that to me." And I pushed it away maybe 3 or 4 times. And he still said it and still did it and like reached back. I was walking into the classroom and did it again.
Wasn't clear if the teacher was dressed up in anticipation of Halloween or because it was school spirit week, but the teacher wasn't in the classroom the next day and hasn't been back since.
Some people thought it was funny, some people didn't like it, some people was like, whatever, they just blew it off. Kind of insulted because my faith, because I believe in God.
Of course I was livid, because I am a Christian as well, obviously. What really tipped it over for me is he kept telling him no, and the teacher kept persisting.
While several parents don't want the educator back after what he did, some did support him. Others said they don't agree with what his actions were, but they felt he shouldn't be fired over the incident, but some were pissed.
I don't think it's okay, joking or not. If you're going to keep the Christian stuff out, then you got to keep the devil worshiping stuff out.
In a statement, Mesa Public Schools said they are currently investigating what happened. In related news, when kids at an Alabama elementary school showed up to school yesterday, they were greeted by a very realistic Pennywise, the murderous clown from It. A photo posted to Facebook showed a costumed individual standing near the front parking lot of the school, holding a red balloon while wearing the character's signature ruffled coat and pants, as well as a mask with the clown's iconic slicked red hair and evil grin before the school told them to take a hike. Reactions from parents actually were pretty positive. Most people thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
You can see it on 93XSec.
I would have found both situations funny.
Yeah, especially as a kid, if I walked in and my teacher
said Hail Satan,
Satan,
that'd be
I'd
hilarious.
Like,
I'd laugh my
this
ass
is going to
off.
be a fun day.
Heck yeah. This is better than if you just put a movie on.
Yeah.
A student ate a THC-infused candy handed out during a Halloween event at a California elementary school. The child became ill and needed medical attention after eating the candy at the Amelia Earhart Elementary event Sunday afternoon. The three other families also found that candy in their children's bags, but there was no reports any other child ingested it. Police are investigating the incident to determine where the THC candy came from. They have encouraged families to throw out the candy from the event.
How's that possible? Come on.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that wacky date Josh went on in high school when he accidentally ingested a birth control pill.
Whoops! I said. I thought that was a Skittle.
Mm-hmm. Did it work? Did you not get pregnant?
Never been pregnant.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Believe it or not, this Halloween, officially the second snowiest Halloween on record in the Twin Cities. The season's first measurable snowfall event brought a frightful 2.7 inches to the airport, with 1.8 inches of it falling yesterday. Because of the official daily snow depth being measured at 7 a.m. at the airport by the National Weather Service, the Twin Cities has now tied October 31st, 1905 for a depth record of 2 inches.
1905?
That's right. As for the infamous Halloween blizzard of 1991, those record-breaking Halloween flakes, 8.2 inches of them, started flying later in the day, the Weather Service notes, with many more falling in subsequent days.
Yeah, that snowstorm was stupid.
I lost a boot.
How do you lose a boot in 2 inches of snow?
Oh, I meant in 1991.
What? Accused of pleasuring himself while walking around a Target store, an Iowa man told cops what I think is a legitimate explanation. He wasn't masturbating his actual penis, but rather a dildo he had in his shorts.
That's normal.
Just go away.
Despite that, what I believe to be convincing clarification, 25-year-old Deshaun Brown was, for some reason, busted for indecent exposure. Brown, who lives a few blocks away from the store in downtown Iowa City, was caught on camera earlier this month touching his clothed genitalia as well as his exposed penis, police said. And police say he has prior incidents for the same behavior. In July, he was sentenced to 2 years probation for indecent exposure. When questioned police about his Target stroll, he reportedly claimed to actually have been engaged with a stashed sex toy, not his penis. However, cops noted video evidence suggesting the phallic object in his hand was indeed connected to his person.
I just don't even get it. What are you doing?
like that.
Why are you here?
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Just go home.
Nothing like fries and a nice cup of warm urine. A Utah man claims he drank urine instead of what he thought was a milkshake he ordered earlier this week.
God
Wow, that's a big difference.
Caleb Wood said
not really.
It depends on where you get it from. Caleb Wood said he decided to order fries and a milkshake from Chick-fil-A off of a Grubhub app. But he knew something was up when he took a sip from the beverage, which he claimed made him sick afterwards. Wood said, "I soon discovered the cup delivered to me was a warm cup of urine. So he immediately called the driver back to his house and let him have it for delivering the warm wiener water."
Did you confuse the cups? Because, dude, it's half full of pee.
Wood said the driver did confuse the cups. The driver told him he had 2 styrofoam cups in the car, but confused the milkshake for the urine-filled cup. The driver and Grubhub have both apologized for that alleged incident.
And it was warm, huh?
Yeah.
So that wasn't his first clue that it wasn't a milkshake?
See, that would alert me that maybe this isn't a milkshake.
Yeah.
You couldn't protect a warm cup of piss. What movie? I'm going to leave this one hanging.
Slapshot.
I'm going to let this one,
Caddyshack.
651-989-9393.
Blues Brothers.
You
Blues
couldn't
Brothers?
protect a warm cup of piss. What movie?
Tombstone.
Start your message with Nick.
Kiss. I'm going through all the references that are usually made. Dawson's Creek. A woman was arrested outside a Missouri McDonald's restaurant for indecent exposure. Police got a call approximately 7 p.m. about a 34-year-old female drunk in the parking lot. She yelled at someone in a car, dropped her pants, and urinated, providing stunned diners a golden shower in front of the Golden Arches. When asked what would cause the woman to do such a thing in a McDonald's of all places, Doug Wendell, the local chief of police, said with a grimace, "I don't know why she did it." Police said the woman was taken to custody in the McDonald's parking lot.
Isn't that funny? In high school, I went on a date with a gal. We went to Pizza Hut, and, we got drunk first, and then we went to Pizza Hut. I didn't realize how drunk she was when we pulled into the parking lot. Of course, there's a gaggle of other high school kids hanging out there. And we got out the car, and my date pulled up her skirt and pulled off her underwears and took a whiz on the parking lot of Pizza Hut. And everyone that was gathered around said, "Boy, Bourne, you know how to pick them, don't you?"
I mean, was it open? Could she have just gone in and used it?
She could have walked into the joint, yeah. She got out the car, took a leak on the parking lot. Many of you guessed correctly my what movie challenge for the morning. The line, you couldn't protect a warm cup of piss. I want to give credit to... they're rolling in so fast.
Yeah, a lot of people got it.
It's not 12 inches, but it smells like a foot. Jesus was the first to answer. The Last Boy Scout.
Oh, I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. Been a while, but yeah, that was a good movie.
On this day, 127 years ago, 1896, the first bare-breasted woman appeared in National Geographic.
Oh, wow.
That was my first porn.
Mm-hmm. That was a big deal back in the day.
National Geographic.
Flip through all those things at the library.
The Arizona Diamondbacks host the Texas Rangers for Game 5 of the World Series tonight on Fox. Texas leads 3-1 going into what could be the deciding game of the series. Sylvester Stallone on Jimmy Fallon tonight. Seth Meyers has Henry Winkler. Former Viking Steve Hutchinson, 46 today. Who did that? You don't like Steve Hutchinson?
I didn't do that. I like the guy.
You usually make the fart noises over there.
Why do you do? What happened with you and Steve Hutchinson?
I ran in. He actually stayed in a hotel room next to me in Vegas one time. Very nice guy.
Wait, did you make the fart noise or did Nick make it?
Nick made it.
Oh,
I didn't make a fart noise.
Somebody did. Ashley, was that your butt?
Definitely not.
Jenny McCarthy, 51. Def Leppard drummer Rick Allen, 60. Anthony Keaton. What's wrong with Rick Allen?
I don't know. What do you have against Rick Allen now?
He seems like one of the nicest guys in rock.
You've had some bizarre run-ins. One with Steve Hutchinson, one with the drummer from Def Leppard.
He's lived through tragedy and made it work.
He did me wrong.
His arm fell off.
He knows what he did.
His arm fell off before you were even born, and you got a problem with the guy.
God, I'm scared to name anybody else. Anthony Kiedis from the Chili Peppers.
Okay, personally, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'll that one.
All right. 61 today. Fat Lebowski sending a shout out for his little man, future hockey goon Jesus, having urgery today. Best luck with the urgery. Happy 50-something to Jazzy Jesus, and that's 93X News.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text PUCK, P-U-C-K, PUCK to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to the Minnesota Wild versus New Jersey Devils game this Thursday at the XL Energy Center. Tickets furnished by Minnesota Wild. This keyword is good today, November 1st until midnight. Good luck.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
We did acquire Josh Dobbs via trade from the Arizona Cardinals, in exchange for a 6th-round pick. We also picked up a 7th-round pick in the trade. Thought it was important in our process of evaluating our options at the position to make sure we solidified our quarterback room. I've always loved his makeup and kind of what he's all about, and he's played in a variety of different offenses, and I know he's excited to get going here.
Seems like a little bit of a Band-Aid approach. Don't mortgage the future, but keep the fans happy for the current time being.
I don't think the Vikings have given up on the season, but if I was the one making the decisions up in the office, give me Case Keenum back.
He's going to be drinking water from a fire hose this week. He's going to fly in, I think, tonight, and then they're going to get him right into the game plan right away.
We got Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder checking in. Sound off here, boys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's going on? Yeah, we're going to get into all this Don Hobbs. What the hell's the name of the kid again?
Calvin Hobbs.
We're going to get into all that. Well, we got a new route we're going to take here to fire up our Wednesday conversations with Randy Shaver and Brad Ryder. We're going to begin things with a Minnesota Wild report. Now, I have to admit, we've been put in a tough spot here with the boys having not played a game since Sunday. They're back on the ice tomorrow night at home against the New Jersey Devils. That same hockey club beat the Pigs by a goal in that Sunday game I was talking about. Now, this is for Randy Shaver only. I think Randy will get a huge kick out of this in our Minnesota Wild report. Pigs forward Ryan Hartman was named the third star of the week.
Kind of like the third place game.
The third star. That's cute.
Do we have tickets to the third star?
The ceremony?
The third star all-star game would be something to see.
Sure.
No, Hartman had a solid week last week. Injuries are effing things up for the boys so far. They haven't come out the gates the way they wanted to, but again, I think some injuries have gotten in the way. Spurgeon, Gaudreau, who am I missing? Is there anyone else I'm missing? Spurgeon and Gaudreau are the two names that stand out most to me, for me. But they'll try to get right tomorrow night at home against the Devils. You know what I always say when we talk about the Pigs when they struggle, and I don't know why they never take my advice. They have to, number one, stop losing. And number two, get the power play going.
Right.
And things will be okay.
Shoot the puck.
And shoot on the power play.
It is weird they don't coach those things.
Yeah.
Shoot the puck on the power play.
Every other week, every other Wednesday, I should say, we'll be talking with Marcus Foligno. This is his week off. We'll talk to Marcus next Wednesday. We're going to toggle back and forth. If there's no Marcus, you're going to hear our Minnesota Wild report on Wednesdays. Well, now, how about this here deal now? Gotten a lot of texts on this morning. Our pal, an official member of the Half-Ass Morning Show, Dick Bramer, the television voice of the Twins for the past 40 seasons, is going to walk away from the mic and join the club's front office as a special assistant. Surprised a lot of us yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I am so happy for Dick Bramer. He's busted his ass for many years on the road, prepping for games. That's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. You know, people have been asking, what does that mean for the show? We're still going to try and get him as our guy next year. Obviously, we'd love to have him on. If he wants to. Maybe he just wants to chill, but
we'll find out, I guess.
That'd be great.
We'll certainly be asking.
He'll have more time on his hands.
He'll have more time.
It'd be even cooler to have him on now because it's the only place you could hear him then.
I think he will love his new gig, and I think he will be excellent in that new position. But, of course, we'll all miss seeing him and hearing him on television. But 40 years is a friggin' poke, and he's done it better than anybody I've ever seen. He retires as the longest tenured television broadcaster for a single team in Major League Baseball. How about that? Now, I have to go ahead and say there have been people texting in saying, well, he was forced out.
I've seen a lot of people say that.
I don't buy that story. Randy Shaver, Brad Ryder, I'm surprised how quiet the both of you are being on the topic of Dick Bramer.
I disagree with you, Nick.
You think he was forced out?
Well, here's my take, okay? Nowhere in the release, nowhere on Twitter, officially, has the word retirement been used.
Is that because he's remaining in the sport of baseball? Remaining with the organization?
Maybe.
Maybe. You think that has a darker tone to it?
I just think that in my discussions yesterday with people, my impression is that it was not a mutual decision. That there was some angst that I don't think he was ready. there was no inkling this was coming at the end of the season. If Dick really was retiring after the season was over, then why didn't at the end of the season didn't he just come out and say, "This is my last year"? He didn't do that.
So
when
that's
I
why.
When I asked Justin,
I wasn't trying to argue with you, Randy. I was trying to join the conversation.
When I asked Justin Morneau yesterday, "Did you see this coming?" His answer was no. Well, that tells me that there was no discussion about Dick saying, "Yeah, this 40's enough. I'm going to walk away. This is what I want to do." You think he would have made that decision and maybe made it public before he walked to give himself a chance to at least say goodbye on the air?
Right.
Okay, so that's why you guys were being so quiet, is because you're saddened by this.
I was letting you finish, and I wanted Randy to take the first crack, too, but I talked to a few people yesterday, and I agree 100% with Randy's take. I think that's exactly what happened. I think Dick has got too much class and loves this organization way too much to try to put a negative tone on this, and I know exactly the types of things he's going to be doing because they employ a lot of other people. For good reason, the Twins do a good job at this. They employ a lot of their former great players and bring them back and utilize them in the community. They do a fantastic job of that. So I know exactly what Dick is going to be doing. He's going to be doing a lot of the stuff out on Caravan. He's going to be doing a lot of the public speaking type of events in the community, those sorts of things. And he's going to enjoy that, and he's going to love that. But I do not think he was ready to be done broadcasting yet.
Other people in the Brotherhood are pointing out he said many times he wanted to get to 5,000 games.
Yes.
Yep.
And he's 23 games short of that.
Well, okay, now great. Now I'm pissed off. I was ready. I was ready to have like a nice.
I tried to give this a complimentary tone toward both the Twins and Dick, but I think from Dick's stand, like I said, Dick loves this organization and is too classy to come out and be negative about it, and he's not going to be, and that's part of the reason why he's probably not coming on with us or doing a lot of other interviews for a while, because he wants to let the dust settle a little bit and have this move on. But I firmly believe he was not ready to be done, but I also think that the Twins will utilize him in the best way that they can. I just think he could have, like Randy said, there could have been a better way for him to say goodbye after 40 years. Think about that.
Right. And again, Nick, I jumped to the same conclusion you did. When this news first came out, I went, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Good for him."
Right.
And I even sent him a text and said, "Hey, congratulations. This is great. I'm happy for you." And then I went back and I read it again. And I went, "Wait a second. I don't see the word retirement here. I don't see
I didn't read the press release. We were on all the same text chain yesterday when we started talking about this, and my immediate reaction before I even read anything was, "This smells weird." Yep. It just did. But
certainly these days, knowing that there's always an alternate dark side to everything, right? Do you know what I mean by that? No one believes the first news story that breaks, right? Does everyone follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's always a crowd that says, "No, here's what really is going on. That's COVID is fake, and the election was fake." Right? Okay.
Where we live these days, you're right.
So when I read that Dick was retiring because of the atmosphere we live in now, I instantly thought, "Ooh, I wonder if there's a dark side to this." You can't help it these days. But when I read a comment from Dick Bramer, I'm sure you guys read it too, where he said, in 40 years, I broadcast 4,972 Twins games. Over the last year or so, I thought it would be really cool to make it to 5,000. Then I thought to myself, how selfish would that be? A broadcast should never be about the announcer. It should always be about the game and those who play it. I hope in my final season I prove that I've still got my fastball, a goal I set when I started with the Twins in 1983.
Okay, I think
that's him
a
taking
great
the
comment.
high road.
Yep, that's a great comment. But if that's truly how he felt, and I'm trying not to speak for him, but if that's how he felt, then why didn't they just say this is the last ball game, the last week of the season? He makes an announcement. Hey, you know what? I'm done. I just don't.
Okay.
I don't get that you let the season go and then you decide. I think he deserved. This is my opinion. He deserved to be able to say goodbye at the end of the season on the air. to be honest with you, in my conversation with Justin yesterday, one of the reasons why Plouffe and Morneau gave him the cake at the end of the year was that they wanted to make sure that somebody honored the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course I know what you mean.
So I don't know. Again, when I first read it, I thought, oh, this is great. Good for him. Now, I sent him a text. I asked him if he would do an interview. He sent me a text back. He said, look, actually, I'll kind of paraphrase what he said just to kind of give it some clarity. He goes, I appreciate your sentiments, but part of my transition requires me to be less visible in audio, and that transition starts today. Well,
I guess we'll have to hear it from Dick himself when we get him on the telephone at some point.
At some point, people are going to have to talk about why this happened.
Well, yeah, and if you're retiring and making it celebratory after 40 years,
why would you celebrate it?
I was going to say you would want to be out talking to media and talking to people and reminiscing and giving your memories and all that.
As I said on the news last night, if this is supposed to be a happy day, then why aren't people talking about it as a happy day?
One thing that
it was until you guys fired this up.
Well, one thing that's very telling for me, I have some friends that cover the team, and they said that even Dave St. Peter, the Twins president, declined to make any comment to them.
That just doesn't make sense, right?
Well, I'll tell you what. Now I'm furious.
It feels like it feels like the Twins approached him after the season and said, hey, this is it. This is all behind closed doors stuff that I'm speculating on. He probably said, no, I want to keep going. They said, nope, it's not going to happen, but we'd like to still have you do some stuff. And then they start talking, and this is what ends up happening.
All right. Well, I guess there you go.
And from the Twins' perspective, a part of this that a lot of people aren't talking about, I've seen a couple people write about it, is the Twins likely are not going to be on Bally Sports North next year.
Right.
Yes.
They're going to transition into whatever that is, if it's the Twins' own network or streaming or whatever this is. People better beware that there's likely not going to be Twins on Bally Sports North next year, meaning I think that they wanted to maybe turn the page, looking at it from their perspective, at once. If it's not going to be a Bally Sports North deal next year, they wanted to turn the page now on the broadcast.
All of what you guys are saying makes sense. That didn't, what I said just didn't make sense. All of what both of you are saying makes sense. I just hope you're both wrong. Because that's
I hope I'm wrong too.
Right. I'm sure you do.
I don't get the feeling that it was. Look, I don't think it was a mutual decision. That's just
Josh, I'm such a positive guy all the time.
I know, it's shocking. I actually thought you were going to be on our text chain yesterday. I thought you were going to be the first person to mention that this was BS.
You did?
Yeah, I thought that. That was going to be your take on it.
Okay, I. Like I already said, of course, it crept into my mind that, old timer gets shooed aside because Major League Baseball loves this youth movement in all different kinds of ways. And we all remember what at least we heard happened with Bert Blyleven.
That's what first thing that came to mind.
Okay, so that certainly came to mind right away for me. How could you not? But what I thought of, well, number one, I read Dick's comments, and that made sense to me. He didn't want this to be a selfish thing. It should be about the players, not the broadcaster. I thought about how it was 40 years on the nuts of broadcasting, and I thought, well, maybe Dick is just a very private guy, doesn't want all the adulation, doesn't want a farewell tour. So those are the things that led me to believe that, hey, he's just moving on to a new gig.
I don't disagree with that.
And I guess that's still possible.
I don't disagree with that, but I still think that if his decision was to retire at the end of this season,
right,
that they would have given him the ability, the option to at least say goodbye on the last game.
Well, maybe they did, Randy, and he said he didn't want that option.
I don't think that was even.
Okay, that's fine, but it's possible. We don't know.
I think this is a tough situation. I'm going to go on the Twins side a little bit here. Not that I am.
I'm rooting against the Twins now.
I was just going to say it's a tough situation from their perspective, too, because...
Let's go White Sox.
Yeah. If this is what they wanted to do, there's no clean way... easy way to do it.
Not after 40 years, Brad Ryder.
No, it's not. And I genuinely do believe they want him involved in doing a lot of the things that I spelled out. They want him out there because people like him, and he's well liked in the community, and they can utilize him and, pay him a little bit of money to be part of the organization for however long he wants to be. But from this perspective, from tearing off the Band-Aid of being a broadcaster, it's a really tough. There's no perfect way to do it.
Hate
There's
the
really
Twins. I hate them.
People are pointing to some articles that said it was 100% not a mutual decision.
Why don't I get those articles? Where are these articles? I suppose I got to be on the internet to see those
you
articles.
got to get there.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, we'll find out in the long run what really happened here. Went into the Broadcasting Hall of Fame years ago, didn't he, Randy Shaver?
Yes,
when you
he
went
is.
in, Josh and I will be there someday.
In before I was.
I'll bet that in 3 or 4 years he ends up in the Twins Hall of Fame, too.
Absolutely should.
Well, now, no matter what happened here, and God, I was ready just to drop my pants and have a good time this morning and celebrate the career of.
You can still drop your pants.
And honestly, that's part of the reason why Dick is handling this the way that he is too, because I think he realizes that if he went out kicking and screaming and without class, that a lot of these other things that are going to happen for him, like going into the Twins Hall of Fame, they wouldn't happen. And he realizes that if he handles this the most professional way possible, that those things will happen.
Well, I still just think in general, that's what he's a pro's pro.
Sure,
man.
absolutely
I mean,
he is.
in
yes.
general, that's who he is.
Right.
So he's not going to do that. And, more power to him. I think that's great. But it's a shame that it's turned out the way that it has.
All right, so here's the deal. No matter who's broadcasting the games next year, because you mentioned this Bally Sports North deal, no matter who's broadcasting the games, who's going to be the new lead announcer? I got 5 words for you in who I think should be the next Twins lead play-by-play pimp.
Brad Ryder and Randy Shaver. No.
5 words.
That's 5 words.
Clay F. me running Matvick.
What about Corey Provost? I think
Corey
awesome.
Provost would be great.
Yeah. Clay Matvick would be great. And I'm not just saying that because we're long-lost Eskimo brothers.
Well, I have to recluse myself from comment because you and I are buddies with Clay, so obviously I have a personal opinion.
Clay Matvick is the answer. And I have nothing against Corey Provost. He does a great job, but Clay would be perfect. He's a Minnesota guy. He'd be excellent. The Clay boy knows his stuff. I'm pushing. I'm pushing for Clay.
You get emotional when you talk about Clay Matvick, obviously.
Choked up.
Well, Game 4 of the World Series was a goat penis.
Texas can't lose on the road. So if everything falls into place, they're going to win it all tonight. So,
yeah, they could seal her up tonight and win their very first World Series. They just dumped a tombstone pile driver on the Arizona Diamondbacks last night. They scored 5 runs in the second, 5 in the third.
Without Garcia, too.
Garcia's done. Scherzer's done for the Rangers.
It's an impressive group. Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, those 2 guys are just amazing.
If they wrap it up tonight, Seager should be the MVP.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they could clinch it tonight. I mean, it was a very misleading final of 11-7. Yeah, they had a 10-0 lead. Tonight, it's going to be, it's going to be a Gallon for the Diamondbacks and Eovaldi for the Rangers.
Good luck.
And it could just end tonight. Now, if Seager gets the MVP, if they wrap it up tonight or whenever, and he's awarded the World Series MVP, he'd be only the third. I had this in front of me. Only the third multiple MVP. Here it is. He could join Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, and Reggie Jackson as the only 2-time World Series MVPs. Mm-hmm. I would have thought there would have been a couple more guys on that list. But that's it. Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, and Reggie Jackson are the only guys to win 2 World Series MVPs, according to what I'm reading here.
A, it's hard to get to the World Series, and B, it's even harder to be the MVP. Right?
Well, sure.
So it's going to be tough to repeat that.
You mentioned this Aroldis Allsmoladic Garcia wasn't able to
What was that last name again?
Oh, Smoladick.
Oh,
My dad claims he used to work with a guy. My dad claims he drove truck with a guy named Al Smoladick. But he also claims his very first girlfriend's name was Angeline Mary Maud Day Fisk. But anyway, Al Smoladick Garcia out for the rest of the season. He was replaced in right field by a cat named Jankowski. I don't know the first name.
Travis
Jankowski. He had a couple of hits.
Yeah.
The long-haired kid, I thought, this kid, he looks nervous as hell. He had a couple of hits. I thought this was a great quote. After the game, Jankowski was asked about, being pushed into the spotlight, and he still got a couple of hits. He said, I didn't get the official news that I was starting until 2 o'clock, but I've been ready for this for 15 years, he said. That's a great quote. Well, we'll see if they can get her done. Diamondbacks fans were so bored. By the third inning, they were folding up paper airplanes and throwing them on the ball field.
This is up on 93x.com.
I remember doing that at the old Metrodome.
At least they didn't start the wave.
Didn't the Metrodome even have a promotion night one night where you try to throw a paper airplane into the back of a pickup truck to win the truck?
Yeah. Sounds familiar to me.
I think they did. They parked the truck in right field, and they as part of when you walked in the door, you got these a little bit harder paper where you could fold a paper airplane and write your name on it, and then toss it from your seat. And if one landed in the bed of the pickup truck,
you win it.
You'd win the truck.
Well, I remember they did dodgeball for the longest time. It was a Dodge truck. They'd bring it out. It was red out of right field. And then they'd have one guy who had like 3 baseballs. I think they're more, softer than actual baseballs, so they don't dent the truck. And you try to land in the back of the truck each game. It was always a fun thing.
Yep.
Here's the deal. Yeah, I remember something like that, Randy Shaver, at the old Metrodome. You know what they should have done is if your paper plane landed in the back of the pickup, in the late 90s, they were so bad you should have batted third in the lineup that night. Right between Ron Coomer and Pat Mears or something like that,
Look, if you could throw a paper airplane in the back of the truck at the Metrodome, you should be starting pitcher for the Twins.
In the late 90s, what was it? Mears would lead off, followed by Rich Becker, and then Ron Coomer, Marty Cordova.
Really? Yeah.
Brent Gates.
Brent Gates. What was the one dude? Pedro. I love when Bob Casey would say.
Pedro Munoz.
Pedro Munoz. They had some bad teams. You should have been batting in the lineup. The fans in the ballpark at the Diamondbacks game were throwing paper airplanes. The PA guy had to warn them. And it was one of these. I'm sure you guys saw this play out at the old Metrodome. Someone threw one from the upper deck, and it floated forever and landed on the ball field, and the crowd went, yeah! They were not watching the game because their team was getting pumped.
I also remember the old college student nights on Wednesdays. It was like $2 tickets or whatever it was in the upper GA, and the beach balls would just be going crazy up there.
Yeah.
The poor usher would be going up and down trying to grab it, and it was keep away from the usher. They're not getting paid well enough to run up and down those stairs trying to catch beach balls from drunk college kids.
That's a hell of a deal. All right, so the Vikings went ahead and traded for a quarterback named Dobbs to take Kirk Cousins' place. Give him a week, and he'll be starting games, right?
That's probably the plan.
They made a trade with the Arizona Cardinals. That's where this Dobbs guy was hanging out beforehand. He's played a little bit here. He's played a little bit there. He played for the Cardinals, the Titans, the Stillers, the Argonauts. I don't know anything about this dude. Randy Shaver, but here's something I think I remember. Earlier this season, weren't you laughing your ass off that seeing how Kyler Murray was injured and couldn't play? Weren't you kind of chuckling at the fact that this Dobbs guy was starting for the Cardinals?
They cut Colt McCoy. They released McCoy before the season started and named Dobbs the starter. I think everybody was surprised that they did not keep a veteran quarterback. And I guess you could call Dobbs a veteran. He's been around the block a few times, but there's a reason why the guy has played for 7 different teams in like 6 seasons, right? I mean, he's the classic journeyman quarterback.
I'm surprised he's been in the league that long. I'd never heard of him up until the beginning of this year. Go ahead, Brad Ryder. I can hear you breathing.
No, I was just sorry. I was just going to say I think this actually increases, like I said the other day, the chance that Cousins actually is back next year because they're going to play well enough to challenge for a playoff spot. but I still think he's going to be back on some sort of 2-year type of a deal next year.
All right, stop it with that. That's just 2 days in a row you bring that up. All right, so here we go.
I mean,
this is the guy.
I'll say this about the Vikings. They were buyers, not sellers. They made an effort to try and figure out a plan. If they were 2-6 or 1-7, we wouldn't have probably have seen this. They would have just said, you know what, it is what it is. But they fought their way back to 4-4. They look at the division. They say, okay, we're in the hunt. They look at the NFC and say, okay, we've got a fighting chance to maybe make the postseason. So you got to give them credit for going out and making the deal.
Yeah, sure.
And they really didn't give up much because they traded draft picks. They traded down 1 round. I think, what did they gave up a 5th and got a 6th. So they got a draft pick back.
I guess I was anticipating a little more of a marquee name.
Well, yeah, but you've got to give up a little bit more to do that. And as we said the other day, and I think the point is valid, a lot of teams aren't going to give up their backup quarterback at this, especially if they're contenders, because that's a recipe for disaster. The Cardinals aren't going to be contenders, and they had just benched Dobbs. Dobbs was not going to start for them this week
because the other kid's ready to go.
Your list of teams that you're calling are very few because of what Randy said. You can't call 15 to 18 teams in the league because they're not going to give up their backup quarterback who they have confidence in.
Now, some would argue, Nick, well, why are the Vikings in the position to have to go out and trade for a quarterback? Why don't they have a suitable backup in place?
Yeah, I asked that a couple days ago.
Yep, and so that's a valid question too.
Yeah, it had nobody.
I think the answer is that Nick Mullen went on the injured reserve. If that had not happened, he likely would be the starting quarterback for this team. So
in our intro,
the Vikings were between a rock and a hard place.
In our intro, Josh, was that audio of fans saying this is a joke? Why did they make a trade for this guy?
Some fan reaction.
They don't like this guy. They don't like this Dobbs guy.
Well, it goes back to what I said. They really didn't give up anything for him. I mean, yeah, they gave up a 5th or a 6th, but
a couple people have texted in to say this pretty much puts the nail in the coffin. This season is over. Hang it up.
We'll see what Jaron Hall's got.
Well, for 1 week, right?
Well, if he plays well, he'll keep playing.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. They made a trade for this Dobbs guy,
right? But
to not start him.
Yeah, he'd be a backup here, just like he was a backup there. Right now, they don't have a backup for this week.
Wait a minute. I'm confused.
Well, first of all, he's not going to be ready to play this week.
I know that.
That's why Jaron Hall is going to get the start.
Right.
And what Brad is saying is, what happens if Hall goes out and plays great? What happens if Hall goes out and beats the Falcons and throws 4 touchdown passes? Why would you then not start the guy the next week? Of course you would.
This is his chance. This is his audition. If he plays well this week, he'll play next week.
This is like Tom Brady replacing what's his name for the New England. You never know, right? So
if he doesn't play well, then Dobbs will be in a few weeks.
That would be something spectacular if that happens.
Which is what makes Sunday very intriguing right now.
This Jaron Hall, or whatever his name is going to have to be the lunatic in order to keep that job.
Yeah.
The Las Vegas Raiders fired their head coach, Josh McDaniels.
That was late last night, too. That was like midnight.
That was a news dump.
Our time, yeah.
And they fired their GM, too, Davey Ziegler. They call him the old zigzag nuts.
Speaking of somebody who had a wide receiver on the Raiders in Monday Night Football and fantasy and needed some points out of him, I say, good move. Thank you.
Don't tell me that visual of Devontae Adams slamming his helmet down on the bench during that game wasn't one of the things that caught
If I had a helmet
attention.
at home, I would have done the same thing.
That's the frustration comes with playing the way that the Raiders have all season on offense.
Honestly, I don't know what to say at this moment. I truly don't. I wish I had the words to say something that's not going to get blown up in the media and taken out of context. So I'm going to just, I just don't know. No, it's not hard to maintain the confidence in our offense. It's just hard to curb your frustration when you can't put it together when you know you should.
That dude made a terrible mistake.
Well, no, he decided to go there, Nick, because his friend was the quarterback, and then they dumped Carr, underneath.
And now it's
Adams,
become a terrible mistake.
Oh, yeah. It's a mess. I mean, the Raiders are a mess.
The Timberwolves are at home tonight against the champs, 7 o'clock on Bally Sports North. And like we were talking yesterday, they'll probably win tonight by 25.
Probably.
They completely diarrhea their shorts in, what was that town they were in the other night? Atlanta. Tonight, they'll probably win by 37 points and look like the greatest basketball team you've ever seen.
If they were playing somebody else, maybe. But this team, I think the Nuggets have trailed for a total of 3 minutes all year.
Oh, wow.
Wolves
Something
win
like
tonight
that?
by 27.
Okay, I'll take 26.5. I'll give you 26.5.
You got it, Brad Ryder.
Okay, all right.
I'm not trying to be a dick here. I'm not trying to be a dick, but I watched this Wembanyama again last night, and I don't see it.
Yeah, he's off to a slow start.
You know what he looks like to me? He looks like Sean Bradley.
He's kind of off-putting to watch because his body it's just so. It looks like a cartoon-created video game character with his height and everything.
I don't see this talk of a unicorn and a generational player, and I know it's unfair after 2-3 games, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I think he will grow into this and be pretty good.
I think he will be good at some point. It's not going to be this year right away.
I mean, but that's what makes all this hype so odd to me. I mean, as soon as LeBron James got on the court, you saw it. And we could go through probably 9 or 10 other young players when they entered the NBA. You saw immediately, oh, now I get it. I don't see it with this Wembanyama guy. He just kind of looks like a slow Sean Bradley. But that could be the liquor talking.
We just live in a society where everybody wants everything right now, and that's why everybody's anointing him the next great player before he is.
They sold it. I mean, what the hell, Kate?
And I think that's why you don't hear as much hype right now about him too, right? I mean, he's gotten off to a slower start than some people maybe thought, and there's not that much conversation about him right now.
Jesus criminy, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, what was that, 4 or 5 days ago, said he's a top 5 player in the league right now?
No way.
That was the dumbest thing I've heard either one of those guys say.
Those guys are stoned on that podcast, right?
I've never heard KG say anything dumb up until that. Because I love
He's never seen a guy like Wembanyama. Yes, you have. His name is Bobo.
You think Bobo?
Let me finish my point.
They both black or something?
No, let me finish my point. Wembanyama is just way more consistent than Bobo.
He's only played 3 games. Are you comparing Wembanyama to Bobo?
Bobo is the first 7'4" guy that we've seen come out with the handle, shoot the threes. Yes.
Shaq talking about Bol. I haven't seen him play since he played in college. Who was that snapped at Shaq? Was that Charles?
That was Charles, yeah, he was upset.
That's funny. He's only played 3 games. That's great. So there you go. We were talking earlier about how much fun they were having on the TNT show last night. They all got into Halloween costumes. Shaq was dressed as emo Jimmy Bottles.
Dressed in various costumes. You would be
Jimmy Butler.
More like Jenny Butler.
That's not actually bad, Shaq. Yeah. Thank you.
That's pretty good. Wait, when is an ugly woman not bad?
He's not a woman. He's Jimmy Butler.
Plays for the Heat. Jimmy Butler.
Charles Barkley was oddly dressed as a bus driver. I didn't.
Oddly, a bus driver.
It was like Ralph Cramden on The Honeymooners used to wear a little hat because he was a bus driver. You know what I'm saying? You got to go back to the 50s for this. So Charles was dressed like a 1950s bus driver. Kenny Smith was a Top Gun character. Again with that. But they had a lot of fun.
Charles threw more gasoline on the Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks rumors.
Yeah, he did.
I think the Knicks need to do something. If I'm them, I'm like, hey, we got to do something. All those draft picks we got, what are we saving them for? Who do you need? Karl Anthony Towns. Because those 2 guys in Minnesota can't play together. I mean, that was one of the stupidest trades ever. You go get 2 guys over 7 feet tall in a little man's league.
I'm not sure what this means, but a listener says Victor Wembanyama looks like he should be playing for the Monstars.
It's a team from Space Jam.
Never saw it.
Wembayami?
Oh.
They were the aliens from Space Jam that played against the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan.
Now, here's the deal. I wonder if this is going to stir up the oversensitive masses. So we were talking about the guys on TNT in their Halloween costumes. And also, people like to masturbate to look what all the pro athletes went as for Halloween, and most of it's garbage. I mean, Wembanyama was funny. He was Slender Man. Last night, there were pictures all over the internet of look at what this football team and this basketball team did. They all look so great in their Halloween costumes. Whatever. There was one that grabbed me, and I wonder how the oversensitive masses are going to deal with this. Damian Lee, he plays for either San Antonio or Phoenix. I don't know which team. Okay, can anyone help me with that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Google will.
An NBA guy by the name of Damian Lee, when he was walking into the ball game last night, dressed as injured Karen Rodgers.
He plays for Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh. He's wearing a Jets Karen jersey, and he's on crutches with a big brace on his knee.
That's funny.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you post this? Actually,
Yes.
Yeah, this is on 93X.
I also think that's funny, but you know how people are. That's not funny because it's his livelihood, and people go down that route. So I'm wondering if he's going to get some backlash from this. Well, he had a big smile on his face, too, like he was a stand-up comic.
He sure did.
That could have been a quick costume for anybody locally that had a Cousins jersey and some crutches laying around.
Oh, yeah. Well, who in their right mind would have a Cousins jersey? Oh, God. We've covered so much this morning. We're having to leave some things out, but there's always tomorrow.
Charles Barkley, you mentioned Wembanyama wearing the Slender Man costume, and Barkley made fun of Shaq for not knowing about it.
I love Victor Wembanyama.
That's cool, man.
Slender Man.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who?
Slender Man, the movie.
You don't know Slender Man?
No, do not.
I mean, because you've never been slim.
Because you've never been slim. Randy Shaver, Brad Rutter, are you familiar with Slender Man?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I saw a movie once a long time ago. I don't know.
Really creepy.
It's a creepy movie?
Yeah, the whole, the story just freaks me out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was some, young hard rock kids fell in love with this character on the internet or something, right?
Yep.
And they did some crazy things because they believed he was real and he was coming to get them.
Yeah, there's some terrible things.
Terrible things. So there you go. All right. God dang. I love you, Dick Bramer. Just wanted to get that out there. I guess before we go, you might want to know that I didn't know this. Did you guys know that Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers was a big DX fan, and when he makes a basket, once in a while he does the DX suck it chop with his, the move?
Yeah, and he does it well.
Huh.
He goes for it.
He did this the other night. He's going to be fined at $25,000 by the NBA.
I didn't know this, but it made me a big fan of his.
35,000, 25,000 something.
Wouldn't you agree he does it real well?
Yeah, he does, yeah. Very good delivery.
Joel Embiid got fined. He got a big bucket the other night, and he did the suck it gimmick. Been fined for this exact move before. This is all news to me. I didn't know he was down with, say, X-Pac and the Road Dogg and Mr. Ass and Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Speaking of Triple H, and these two, I think, have been friends for a while because Embiid did the suck it move the other night. Triple H has invited him to WrestleMania 40.
Nice.
I doubt he can go. That's in April, right? That's right in the middle of the basketball.
He said he'd love to, but he can't.
Is that what we're up to now? WrestleMania 40?
Yeah, maybe if you're really old when you said that.
I don't feel old. It's WrestleMania. What's their slogan again? For now, forever, for money. What's their slogan?
They say the granddaddy of them all.
Well, no, the WWE.
Forever,
now, then,
always.
back in the day, always, forever. Yeah. So, please give us your money, I think is there.
And Dana, you don't feel old when you're standing around the Lego store at Mall of America and you don't have a kid there? It's just you shopping?
The oldest one there without a child? Yeah, that does kind of... There's also some sad sex in there like me sometimes, too.
That's sad sex.
We
sex?
We kind of look at each other and give each other the knowing nod like, yeah, we're losers.
Randy and Brad, thank you very much.
Half-assed morning show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Did you know that Standard Heating has over 700 years of combined experience in the heating business? Now that's a lot of brain power. Hi, Corey here. As the call center manager at Standard, I'm proud to be able to work for a company that provides top solutions and experiences for our customers. Ashley, tell us more.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.
It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
Herb Cohen is one of the all-time legendary great sales trainers and negotiators. And he has some advice that will help you negotiate better. Make the other person feel superior and smarter than you. Care, but don't care too much. If you don't like the deal, walk away and see if the deal doesn't get better instantly.
Something You Should Know, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show.
69. This show sucks. Who are you, fart knockers?
93X.
Unbelievable around here. It truly is. All right, we're back. It's 8:30 on the 93X Half-assed morning show. What a terrific crowd we have out there, right, Josh?
Yeah, I like them so far.
Unbelievable crowds that we get morning in and morning out. How the hell did we get to talking about terrible smells? Were we talking about my new wife or something? We got on the topic of terrible
Some chimneys and dead bodies.
Dead bodies, yep.
Oh, yep.
No.
And we had some first responders who texted in and confirmed that is one you just don't get over, smelling a dead human being.
I've heard that said afore. You don't get over it. You don't get used to it, they say. What a gig. What a gig to be a first responder. You see some horrible things. You experience some horrible things. How about those folks we've had in studio before, Josh, that are forensic investigators or something along those lines?
Oh, scene cleaners.
Yeah.
Did I get the correct terminology? Was I even close?
You're close. Same field.
Scene cleaners.
Well, no, they clean up after some pretty terrible stuff.
Oh, okay. So they're not investigating crimes. They're just like the cleaning crew.
They're specialty cleaners that go in when, some terrible stuff happens. That's, man, I don't think I could ever do that.
Nope.
No.
This is some tough SOBs there.
We could probably use some text messages, 651-989-9393, because we're going to talk about, and you guys asked for this, the downright worst smells in the world, according to citizens of our planet. We could use some texts. Maybe your professional life, or God help us, your personal life, has led to you experiencing what you think might be just about the worst smell in the whole world. Maybe some of you pick up roadkill. Maybe you do this, that. Maybe in your personal life you, drop acid and have sex in porta potties. Whatever. If you think you've got some kind of horrible smell, that could be the all-timer. 651-989-9393.
Oh, I've got one. My dog's decaying foot.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Icky.
There is not a smell that could come close to that.
Combine wet dog with that, too? Oh,
Yep.
You got two terrible smells.
Ashley, you should be aware that there might be some listeners who are saying, how in God's name does she know the smell of hers or anyone else's dog's decaying foot?
Yeah, I should mention my dog ate her own foot and it got infected. She's an inbred, so that's kind of why. And then she had reconstructive surgery, but it still smells not great if it doesn't get redressed every day or so.
I can understand, sure, how that might bring about.
It gets a little sweaty,
How does any living thing bite off one of its own limbs?
She doesn't feel pain.
He doesn't feel pain.
Nope.
Are you just quoting the Terminator from 1984?
No, that's what the vet told me. Yep. So my dog doesn't feel pain, so it didn't. Usually a dog will want to lick or bite there if they have like a little cut or something on.
Sure, the hot spots. I've had dogs who would attack those hot spots.
Yep. Most of them will stop though because it hurts. She never stopped because it never hurt.
Aren't you worried your dog's going to eat you someday?
No.
You had to think about that.
Yeah, I did. No.
That concerns me.
Well, we all should think about that. Dana, you didn't know that if you drop dead, your pets would likely eat the flesh off your body?
I guess that's true, yeah.
Yeah, I have a cat for that. That's what the cat's there for.
I've heard cats do it, dogs.
Aside from, like Dana's Last Man Standing reads, the other thing I've noticed that stinks are umbilical cords as they eventually rot off your baby. Nobody prepared me for that.
You taught me that. It kind of freaked me out.
Now, maybe I just have a diseased kid or something. I don't know, but Dude, that was rough to be around.
I don't even like to hear or say aloud umbilical cord.
Yeah, that makes me uncomfortable.
That troubles the balls off of me.
I remember being shocked how bad I had spilled. There was a gallon of milk had busted open on my way home from the grocery store, and I thought I cleaned it all up. I must not have. I can't believe how bad that smell was a couple days later.
Oh, dude, one of the houses I moved into, the guy didn't have a garbage can, so he'd he had a burn pit full of garbage. But one time my dog found a expired milk jug that was 5-6 years old. That smell was rancid.
My oldest played hockey as a goalie for his whole life, and that goalie bag could get real bad.
No, that ain't fun.
Especially with
that could funk up a house.
Teenage boy stank on it too.
I have to say that I got pretty used to the stink of hockey equipment.
And
I don't think that should be mentioned along with some of what we've already discussed.
Are we talking about things that have a pretty bad odor? I mean,
well, yeah.
Nobody's comparing it to a dead body. It's just that's something else that reeks.
Especially if you're not used to it.
Here's the deal. Are you guys really ready for this? I mean, the texts are bombing in right now as we put it out there. Maybe there's something that you've crossed paths with that you think might be some of the worst stuff on earth, some of the worst smelling stuff on earth. I have to go ahead and just say this now. We got 24 minutes left in the show. I've reached my ceiling on jokes about Josh's mother, okay? Just let's put a lid on that. Enough of you have already thrown that joke at.
I always hated the smell of microwaved broccoli. Working in the kitchen, that was a terrible smell.
That could smell like toots.
Yeah,
that is bad.
Farts constantly.
Smell like toots.
Sure can. A lot of people texting in about GI bleeds.
I don't know what that is.
That would be kind of stinky.
Now, Josh, that's the first thing I had here from the article. Gastrointestinal bleeding, is that what GI stands for?
As far as
I didn't know that.
My college degree says.
God help us all. I can imagine that would be absolutely brutal. All right, here are some others. And again, I see the texts are rolling back faster than you can get Josh's mother into bed.
Wait a minute.
I thought you were...
I put a lid on everyone else's jokes, not my own.
All that's going to do is encourage the evil texters out there who keep saying that kind of thing.
It is evil. It is evil, unless it's coming from your best friend.
Yeah, that's true. I'd be honored if you'd have sex with my mother.
I can barely even say it.
A tonsil stone.
Never experienced something like that.
But it all makes sense, at least it does to me. Back in your throat, the food, and I don't know if food comes in contact with your tonsils. I really don't know, but I'm just guessing. Just because it's in the same general area, all the food and the bacteria and whatever, all the things that we take in with our mouths. And I think you're probably picturing some of the items that we take in with our mouths. All that comes into play when you're in that general area. Tonsil stone.
Ugh.
If someone gets a bowel obstruction.
Oh, yeah.
I'm terrified of something like that.
A lot of buildup.
This is from the article. If someone gets a bowel obstruction, poop can come back into their stomach and get digested and then thrown up.
Oh, God.
That's a whole... That combo sounds terrible.
Nothing about that
Barf,
is good.
Poop, all that's...
You're throwing up poop.
A lot of people are texting in about turkey plants. I've heard about that, like turkey farms and stuff. I've heard. I haven't experienced it, but
really?
I've had people say how bad that is.
Yep, same here.
Chicken farms, driving by chicken farms, that smells.
Yeah.
I've heard that's rookie stuff compared to the turkey ones.
You're right, Josh. It is rookie stuff. I've been around turkey farms before, and that smell, it'll part your hair for you.
Why? Is just turkey poop is that much worse?
Well, I don't have a set of...
I mean, we have turkeys in our neighborhood. I've never noticed them smell, but I guess you just have to get a ton more together.
You'd have to ask somebody, Wapple, that has more experience.
I'm going to go find some turkey poop today and smell it.
I can bring you some.
Report back.
Restaurant grease traps.
Oh, yeah. That's rank. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Dry sockets after wisdom teeth removal.
I had a bad case of that.
Were you pretty funky?
It's not fun.
How'd you do that? Did you smoke?
No.
Oh, well, that's.
Oh.
Why are you so surprised? That's like the one thing that they tell you. Like they're like, don't smoke dry socket.
Well,
what are we talking about? Smoking now?
That's like the one thing that they told me is like the biggest cause of dry sockets is like do not smoke anything after your wisdom teeth get taken out.
Well, I got them taken at like 14. I wasn't really smoking back then.
Oh, I would have been.
Me too.
I don't think it has anything to do with cigarettes. It's just once you yank those teeth out of there, it's just a smelly hole. I know some buddies who had a terrible time with wisdom teeth. I had mine was a friggin' cakewalk compared to. Okay, some more of these horrible smells. Reheated seafood in a microwave. Sure.
Stretcher pushing Jesus said he's a paramedic and the worst smell ever, bar none. Gangrene. My uncle had, or my grandpa, had gangrene. Lost a finger.
It seems like all these things are just decaying stuff that smell horrible.
Yeah, that's part of the recipe, I think. Some level of decay. Deer repellent spray is pretty repulsive. Smells like someone ate a bag of poop and then pooped that poop into Tupperware.
I've never smelled that before.
Okay, it's not even over yet.
Oh.
And then you leave that in the sun for a few days, and then you eat it, and then you barf it back up.
Oh.
That is deer repellent spray.
I will not eat deer poop.
You will eat the deer poop.
If you really get hit hard by a skunk, if they give you the gas.
Yeah, so that now. I had said, when we had talked about something similar before, I had said, like gasoline, there was a list of things that, like, universally people don't like the smells of. And I had mentioned gas and skunks I didn't mind, but people told me that's because you've never been sprayed with one. They say it's a lot different than passing by roadkill versus you were like your dog being sprayed by one.
Sure.
They say here if you really get pumped hard by a skunk's spray, the smell changes. It becomes electric. My very hairy golden retriever got it so bad, and I had to wash her, and it was hell. Okay, so if it sticks for a while. I experienced this once now as we're discussing an article and our listeners' takes on the worst smells in the world. I experienced this once. My mother used to, when we were young, she would, I don't know what she was thinking, she would buy vegetables, and none of us would ever touch them. Make sure because she was working all the time, make sure you have that broccoli or that cauliflower. I got you some potatoes, We would never touch that stuff. And there was a bag of potatoes that sat in a cupboard for God knows how long. And I was cleaning out this cupboard, and I encountered this bag. Most of it had turned to liquid.
Ugh.
And the smell was absolutely second to none up to that point in my life. I don't know. Someone who knows something or another about food could tell me what happened there. But the potatoes just turned to liquid.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Mm-hmm. Spoiled milk, of course, a lot of people are saying is
that's bad.
One of the worst smells in the world.
Got a first-time text here from listens but doesn't contribute Jesus. He said he pumps manure for different farms. The worst is steer manure at the farms that feed old donuts, cakes, cereals, or any other expired pastries for the high sugar content. He said when we stir the pits and break the crust, the gases will burn your nose hair. The stink holds onto your skin, even not touching it. And then...
I can believe it.
He wins.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, what a job.
Good.
Yeah, he says it's just god-awful.
Anal expression fluid from an animal. I experienced that once with my old dachshund.
It's chemically, at least in our shepherd.
It is
it smells like chemicals.
It is so strong. And yes, Josh, quite chemically. When I had my dachshund, Ozman, he lived for 19 years. He tried to kill one of Josh's stepkids. But I remember when I got that cute little bastard, I took it to the vet, and the vet said, this is one of these dogs where you have to express their anal glands. And I said, I have to what? Their what? I'd never heard of that in my entire life. And the vet did it right there in the office, and it about dropped me to a knee. Now, I have good news for you. She said most dachshunds you have to go through with this. But you might get lucky, and you won't. Well, I got lucky. It never came up again, and thankfully, because like I said, it about dropped me down to the floor.
My brother's dog, they just had like that sack explode.
Oh.
Yeah. They said it's been rough. It's been rough for them.
Before we take a break, burnt heroin has come into play on the topic of the worst smells in the world. Canned cat food. God, I can't stand that stuff.
Going back to the heroin, when we had that drug-sniffing canine officer, but to be specific, the dog smelled the drugs, and the officer held on to the leash.
Yeah.
But he had a suitcase full of different drugs to show us what their dogs can identify. And some of the, like heroin, I remember, and crack. I don't know how you even get close to it, much less ingest it.
It was so chemically.
Yeah, it was, so strong.
That was...
I learned a lot there.
That was a learning experience. It was very much, I'm trying to gather the words here, like, I won't even try because I'm lost here. Like Josh was saying, when we got a whiff of what these different little drug rocks smelled like, I just thought to myself, how in God's name would anybody come near any of this? No matter what you do with it, smoke it, shoot it, whatever.
I don't know.
It was so brutal.
It was
like smelling salts.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised how, and I actually thought, well, these dogs really aren't doing much. I could smell this from a block away. I could be a police sniffing dog or a drug sniffing dog.
It really was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you could smell it from quite a distance.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
This is killing me over here, but I'm also having the time of my life.
Some of this stuff is so gross.
Some of this stuff is so disgusting,
awful.
But yet I can't stop laughing. Earlier this morning on the program, we got on the subject of some poor bastard died, got stuck in a chimney, and the maintenance worker who found the body talked about how brutal, absolutely brutal the smell was. And few text messages came in. Josh got some text messages from some paramedics and characters like that, doctors and nurses, who said, you never forget, you never ever forget, and you never get used to the smell of a dead body. God help us. I'm very thankful I've never experienced such a thing. So we got on the topic of the worst smells in the world. Our listeners started texting in their takes on the worst smells in the world. What do you got over there, Josh? I'm just hoping I can read my handwriting, because all I've been doing over here is jotting down as quickly as I can all of the answers from our listening audience. We never want to let them down, but also I have to say, this is going to be rough for some of you listening. It's going to be rough.
Oh, and I think we'll probably have to leave a few of them out. There's a couple I don't even believe exist. It was so graphic.
Lay it on me, Cubby.
You mentioned the first responders. Also, a lot of folks in the military texted in and said burn pits were absolutely awful.
Yeah.
How about a paper mill? And that's from Colostomy Bag Jesus. He said he remembers as a kid, his parents took him on vacation to Canada. They drove past one, and the smell lingered in a car for an hour.
Now, I can relate to, I've had experience with that because, correct me if I'm wrong, brotherhood and sisterhood, Cloquet did or may still have a massive paper mill, and we used to drive through Cloquet every summer to go fishing, and that smell was quite overwhelming.
Worst smell, brother and I took his new pickup truck to Sam's Club, loaded everything in the back seat since he had something loaded in the bed. When we got home, we each unloaded our own side of the Costco supplies, but I accidentally left one of those huge bags of frozen chicken breasts in the back seat. It was the height of summer. We didn't discover it for 4 days.
No.
There were maggots crawling all over his carpet. The smell was putrid. He was mad at me for a while, he says. Cleaning out broken refrigerators. Plenty of people text in saying after you let it defrost, the smell in there can be bad. Worked at a medical waste disposal company, and the smell, depending on what they were burning, was awful. Smang it, Jesus.
They burn it up, huh?
I guess.
I was watching a movie the other day, and before they went into a room with like a dead body, they put some hand sanitizer under their nose. I never thought of that little trick when cleaning up something gross that the dogs
That's
do.
to get drunk.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Do you know for sure it was hand sanitizer? I thought it was something else, something kind of like a smelling salts type thing. But anyway, yes, I've seen that done before.
There was an urgent care nurse who said sometimes ladies leave a feminine hygiene product there, and that can be a bit ripe if forgotten about for too long.
That can get nasty.
No.
Ugh.
All right, broken colostomy bag. Month-old semen.
Why?
How do you experience that out of curiosity?
I've told this story.
No, maybe you shouldn't tell that story.
I'll just leave it out.
Sometimes you save it for a special person.
Yeah.
Or a special occasion.
Yeah.
The fun smell combos you get as a garbage man is second to none. Lister says, an F.U. Wapple. I know you still have no respect for our occupation. Fishermen and fisherwomen, a listener says. I know you know what I'm talking about. A sealed container of night crawlers that's been sitting in the sun for a few days. Oh, man, some of these I'm laughing my nuts off. One listener says, our men's room at our warehouse between 6 and 10 a.m. is the worst smell on earth. When your chest freezer goes out for a few weeks and you don't know about it.
I'll bet.
And you
I'm
crack
jealous
that
you have
open.
a chest freezer, but not jealous you went through that.
Again, I'm trying to gather up, trying to be able to read my own handwriting. I vacuumed up some baby mice and didn't know it until the next time I opened up my shop vac.
Oh, I bet
a while too.
Awful.
I had mentioned earlier we had a mouse that died in the wall, and it was terrible. We're trying to figure out where it came from. It's absolutely disgusting.
Got a text message from a cemetery worker. Ooh. The only time I've ever really seen that played out is in the movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the night, there's a full moon. The cemetery workers are out there. But a cemetery worker says, sometimes we got to dig up old dead bodies.
I suppose.
And that's not exactly the cutest smell in the... when you gut a deer and you hit the stomach, I've heard the stories about that.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I've
gosh,
heard that for
yes.
sure.
Awful.
Yeah, I smelled that. That was terrible.
Wapple!
Oh.
An exploded incubated chicken egg.
Oh.
Specific.
We love you to death for sending in all these effing text messages. We try our absolute damnedest to get to as many as possible. But, there's only so much time, so we appreciate it. What a fun conversation. It was tough, but fun. I never knew I could laugh so hard and almost vomit at the same time.
That's the best, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's a great weight loss program, the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Folks just decide, you know what, I'm going to go light on breakfast today. Congrats to Cubby's real father, Jesus, starting a new career today. Best of luck. Happy birthday to Tighter Than a Fist Jesus from Curling Jesus. And right now on the Luther Kia of Bloomington text line, text the word FEAR, F-E-A-R, FEAR, 2651-989-9393. You get a shot to win tickets to Iron Maiden, Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 at the X. Furnished by our friends at Live Nation. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
Take advantage of Standard Heating and Air Conditioning's HVAC Black Friday specials and save up to $1,500 on a furnace and AC combo or $1,000 on a new boiler. Check out the hottest deals in town all through November at standardheating.com.